hold. I'll hold.
You think we'll start welcoming people?
Start welcoming people. Are you talking to someone? Yeah.
Can I welcome people again? All right, I'm welcoming people again. We're really great at delivering lasagnas. We're pretty good at technology. This whole Facebook Live thing, or YouTube Live thing, we've done twice. So start off by, where's everybody calling in from, or dialing in from, or watching from? So we're coming here from just outside of Boston. And let's see, the team has traveled here from all over. So from Virginia, from the Midwest. So we're super excited to be here today. And I'm just trying to pull up one more thing, and then we'll be good to go. My goodness. Let's see. 2023 National Lasagna Day. There it is. Okay, so we're going to kick off. I'm trying to think of what we're going to start with. So we have a really special video to share with you. I think before that, I just want to say for a minute that this National Lasagna Day has been just really amazing in terms of how many people have come together to support. So we have, I want to say, over almost 200 events being hosted by local leaders across the country. So a huge shout out to all the local leaders who are cooking and delivering meals to families. You guys are amazing. I just can't believe how much passion you have for serving your communities. We have, I think, over 250 lasagnas that have already been delivered outside of the portal. So volunteers who didn't get a match, but wanted to spread kindness anyway. And so they made a lasagna for someone in their family or someone in their neighborhood, someone they knew needed a little extra love, and just delivered it and let us know. So thank you guys for being a part of this and like really just understanding our mission and putting the kindness out there. Even if you don't have a match and aren't doing it officially through Lasagna Love. So just a huge thank you to everybody. I want to shout out a huge thank you to all the influencers who are joining us today. We've got a good friend of mine who's going to be on in just a few minutes, Zuzu from San Diego. We'll tell you how we met, but she's been on Top Chef Amateur. She's an incredible plant-based chef. We've got Kendra DePinto, who's another home chef who's partnered with us before, who talks a lot about cooking with disability and how to make cooking accessible. Of course, we've got Desarae, aka Linda, Cooking Comedy Chaos, coming to show us how to smoke a lasagna. Not something I ever thought I'd be doing. And then we've got some other people, here and there, who are going to pop in and say hi. And some of them you know about, and some of them are surprises. And but the first thing I wanted to do to kind of like this is a day of celebration. National Lasagna Day is a huge day of celebration for us. But we're also, we're here for a reason. We are here because there are people who need love and kindness and who need that in the form of a home cooked meal. And sometimes when we get caught up in the cooking and the events and the planning and all the logistics, sometimes, especially for us, it's easy to sort of forget about the people whose lives we're touching. The whole reason that we're here is to feed families and spread kindness. And so one of our volunteers, Christian Parisi, decided to make a video that really showcases exactly how much of an impact we're having on people who've received a meal. And so I want to say thank you to all the recipients who shared their stories with us for this video. It's really powerful, and I'm really excited to share it with you to sort of set the tone and to kick off today's Lasagna-a-thon. So Steph, if you're ready, we're ready.
I didn't exactly know what to expect when Lasagna Love was about to come to my door. A total stranger showed up at our door with a homemade lasagna.
I was so grateful for the lasagna because I'm a single mom and I work most nights.
I was traveling, it's a horrendous situation that no one should have to
I
do.
know times are so tough. My husband is sick and working on being on the mend. That day I had actually found out my grandmother had passed away. And I was leaving for New York that next morning. And I ended up bringing the lasagna to my family's house.
It's very hard for me to fill out the form because it's embarrassing and I'm proud and I wanted to not have to have anybody help me, but I did it.
Just in those times of need, you gotta allow people to help you. And, thank you to Lasagna Love for stepping up to do that.
The lasagna we received from Linda, actually, we could feel the love.
And we were very grateful to get this delicious meal in a difficult time in our lives.
My husband really had his hands full already and the woman who came over was so nice.
And as soon as I received it and placed it on the dinner table, my children dug in so quickly. It wasn't anything left after an hour.
Totally made my day and my daughter's day as well. And we both, all three of us enjoyed it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I really appreciate it. Thank you.
I felt the love. I felt it and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
So that's why we're here. So if you're a recipient watching this, I just want to say thank you for letting us into your life in a moment of vulnerability and a moment of need. We're here for you. It's a gift. It's honestly, genuinely a gift to be able to be there for you in that moment. And if you're a volunteer, thank you for touching the lives of one of these people and the thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands, actually at this point, millions more. And if you're a donor, thank you for making this possible because we wouldn't be able to do this without you. So we're going to kick off with a giveaway. We got 1 minute until we get to Zuzu. So I did tell you guys in social media that there would be giveaways all day. So the first thing that we want to give away is, let's see, and you're gonna have to do something for it though. It's not just for free. So everybody today is going to get one of these ragu spoons, of course, because ragu is one of our sponsors. And today the first giveaway we're going to do is, this is the official National Lasagna Day 2023 quote t-shirt. The people who give you their food give you their heart, which is just so true about what we're doing. So we'll do a t-shirt, limited, or this is the NLD quote t-shirt. We'll do one of the ragu spoons and a Lasagna Love trivet. This is the second year we've done them. I love them. I still have 2 of mine that are much dirtier than this one. So what you have to do is in the comments, put if you're depends on if you're a recipient, if you're a volunteer, I want you to put the emotion that you felt when you were watching that video. Put the emotion you felt, just comment that. Andre's in the other room and she is going to randomly select somebody. And when we come back from cooking with Zuzu, we'll announce who won that beautiful set of Lasagna Love swag. All right. And I think I'm ready for Zuzu. I hope I'm ready for Zuzu. I've got my vegan cheese. I've got my lentil filling. I've got my noodles. I have my pan. I have some sauce. So I think we're good to go. So Steph and Andreas. Oh, she is there. Oh. Huh? I can't hear you. Let me see. Might be my side. Can you guys hear her? Oh, she's connecting to audio.
Can you hear me?
Welcome. I cannot believe you made this happen. I'm like honored that I'm gonna cry. So welcome to National Lasagna Day. For those of you who don't know, this is Zuzu at Naturally Zuzu on social media. She's a force. So I met Zuzu, what was it, like 4 years ago at this point?
4 years ago, yeah, before you guys moved to Maui.
Before we moved to Maui. So I was living in San Diego, and Zuzu was my Bali X instructor.
That's right.
and I went to the gym every week just to see her because she's so inspiring. And now you're doing much bigger things. So do you want to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, by the way. This is so exciting and happy National Lasagna Day, everyone. Super, super honored to be here. My name is Zuliya. My friends call me Zuzu. On social media, everyone knows me as Naturally Zuzu. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Pinterest, you name it, all the social media platforms. And what I do is I share my love for plant-based lifestyle through my food on all my social media pages. I was on Top Chef in 2020. That was a highlight of my year. Everyone was having a kind of moment, I guess, during 2020 when we were cooking and doing sourdoughs and making banana breads. And I was approached by the producers of Top Chef, and I was lucky enough to audition and actually to be one of the contestants on Top Chef in 2020. So basically that's about me. I am a mother of two. I have two kids in college. One is a senior, another one is a junior. So one goes to UCSD, another one is at the San Diego State. So that's my life. And I cook every day and I dance. So two of my passions, cooking and dancing.
Amazing. Oh, so excited to have you here. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And I guess, so tell me, so I have everything prepped. Maybe tell me a little bit about like this recipe and what inspired you and how you created it and what I should do next.
Yeah, so this recipe was actually inspired by my son's nanny. She was Sicilian. And every time I would go pick up my son from her house, she would make this incredible lasagna. At that time, I wasn't vegan. So she would make it with like, ground meat. And, I remember it used to have like pork or a beef in it. And she would roll it up instead of like actually making a traditional lasagna way, she would roll it up. And I always used to ask her, why do you roll it up? And she's like, just eat. You just pick it up. And it's like, feels like you have a little parcel with the filling in it. And it's just so cute. And the kids love eating it this way. So that kind of inspired me. I remember when I became vegan, I really wanted to replicate her recipe, but make it vegan. So instead of using ground beef or ground pork, I use lentils. There you go. We have a lentil filling right there. And for mozzarella, I always used, of course, vegan mozzarella. This is one of my favorite brands. It melts beautifully, Violite, but there are a lot of other brands out there. You can check it out. I love using Victoria's if I'm not making my own. This is one of my favorite sauces. So what we're going to be doing today, we're going to be assembling. We have most of the items prepared, right? So the filling is prepared.
Yep.
The pasta sheets are prepared. Perfect.
Ooh, I like yours though.
This is from Trader Joe's.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. Awesome.
Yes. So
Mine's not the curly
everything is
cues. I
prepared.
got fresh pasta too, but it like ripped in the middle and I'm not going to deal with it.
Don't worry, make it easy, right? And what we're gonna do, we're gonna put a little bit of that sauce on the bottom of our casserole pan.
So I've got marinara or tomato basil. Does it matter?
I think
Whatever
either
flavor you
one
like?
would be good. I love tomato basil, to be honest with you. It has more flavor.
Okay.
So let's do tomato basil. I'm using white linen, which is the marinara sauce by Victoria, which is such a great sauce. When I don't make my own sauces, that's my go-to.
Awesome. Go-to, of course, is Ragu and their new kettle cooked sauce because they're one of our amazing partners for National Lasagna Day.
I love Ragu. Oh,
I love this because I mean, all their sauces are good, but this one just like what we found, like a lot of times, I don't know if you make pasta sauce, you want to add stuff to it and doctor it up. And this one just tastes so good right out of the jar that I feel like I don't need to.
I absolutely love that. That's another brand I love, Ragu. So once you put a little bit of that sauce on the bottom, just like so.
Okay.
You see it? Perfect. We're going to take our sheets, put it on a, I always like to put it on an oiled surface. So if you have
I just have
a board, perfect. Oil it a little bit. I usually like to spray with a little bit of avocado oil or just put some extra virgin olive oil on top and then just line it lengthwise. And then you put a spoonful of filling, just like so. And put it kind of right in the center, I would say.
Is it like a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, or?
Like a tablespoon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
like,
All right.
like a big tablespoon, like a serving spoon, I would say, depending how big your sheets are. Perfect. And, like I didn't say it in the recipe, but my kids used to love it when I would add a little bit of the cheese in the center. So like take a little bit of cheese and put it in the center as well. like when I'm creating my recipes on my blog, I try to make them as healthy as possible. But go ahead and put some cheese, and then I don't know if you could see it. Let me bring it a little bit down, like just
Okay.
like so. Yeah. So then you just kind of roll it. Can you see it?
Yep.
Just like so. And you're gonna have this little cute parcel.
Yours is definitely prettier than mine, but I'm gonna just
That looks amazing. And you just line it just like that. So I don't know if you could see it. So this is what it would look like. So I already rolled up 3, and this is my 4th one. And you just keep going until you roll up all of your parcels, and then you can actually put them.
The recipe you posted yesterday makes just 1 full tray.
Yes, makes 1 full tray.
And I'm always curious because so I've started to become more plant-based in the last couple of years.
Mhm.
And so I'm always just curious for people who are like really into it and know how to make recipes taste good and all that. Like what brought you to it, or like I guess just like share a little bit of your plant-based philosophy.
My journey. So prior to becoming a chef and a social media chef, I call myself a chefluencer. I used to work for a hedge fund as an analyst, as a real estate analyst.
I did not know this.
Very stressful job. You know, I used to travel quite a lot. My health impacted by a lot of the stress. And, you know, one day I woke up and I just couldn't move my body. I'm a dancer, and, I woke up to teach my class and I couldn't teach my class. I was in pain. My joints were hurting. And after doing a lot of research, I found out I had a severe joint inflammation in my body. And it was causing mostly by my lifestyle, the stress, the food I was eating. Did a lot of research, and I found out that the dairy was the #1 cause of inflammation in my body. And so doing a lot of the tests and going through, doing my own research, obviously, I decided to eliminate dairy and meat from my diet. And believe it or not, within 3 months, I started noticing difference. No more migraine headaches. My joints weren't hurting anymore. Just like I started just moving better, feeling less lethargic. And I kept up with that lifestyle. It's been 10 years now since I've been plant-based, and I never look back. I always found ways to eat the foods that I used to crave before I became plant-based. People always like, don't you miss sushi? But there is a plant-based sushi out there now. Like, don't you miss, cheese? But there are so many incredible plant-based cheeses out there. It's like, I don't miss it. I don't miss the lifestyle which I had when I was consuming animal
I feel
products.
like plant-based has been, it's been taking off. Like, I feel like as there's more knowledge, there's more and more companies. I mean, new ones like Veg Life and Dia, but even like, I saw Philadelphia cream cheese plant-based the other day. And my kids tried it, and they don't know the difference. It's
Exactly.
So
To me, it's very important also to find a product that's less processed, because all it comes to eating cleaner, better ingredients, right? And every time I'm shopping for myself or for my clients, I'm always looking for those clean, more natural, whole food, plant-based ingredients. And there are plenty of them out there. Like if you don't like Impossible Meat and Beyond Meat, don't use it. Like, I never use those products. Instead I use mushrooms.
you can do so much with mushrooms and lentils, and
exactly.
we made mushroom tacos like a couple of weeks ago, and with the right seasoning, it tastes just like, and even the texture is like the same as ground beef.
That's it. Yeah, I always say it's all about the seasoning, right? It's easy. Like, you can throw a meat on a grill, you put salt and pepper, and it tastes good, right? But with the mushrooms and with tofu, with lentils, you really have to bring those flavors out. And how we do that, we do it with spices. So if you know how to implement those seasonings and spices, you can make anything taste really good. That's what I feel like. And this is what I come, like, people come to me and say, like, I really miss eating this, for instance, right? Lasagna, my grandmother's lasagna she used to make with, veal and this and that. How do I make that? And then I give them my recipes. I'm like, try this, try using these spices. And it's like, you can always bring those flavors that you've been missing if you use the flavors, let's say, your grandmother used to use, or your mom. It's just all about that the textures, familiar textures and familiar flavors, right? You want to put in the dish. So, and that's really exactly what we're doing right now. We're making my son's godmother's Sicilian roll-up lasagna that she used to make. So if you have extra, you can literally like move things around and like squeeze it in, just like I'm
That's
doing.
exactly what I'm doing. I thought it was a 3 and now it's a 4 roll. That's awesome.
That's it.
Here's
That's
the
it.
outro.
So that's basically how it is. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'm gonna have probably 12 instead of 10.
Okay.
But
And
usually
then
like
how long, I know it says in the recipe, but just in case anybody's listening, how long do you bake it for?
it's about 20 minutes until it gets
Okay.
nice and bubbly, because everything is already cooked. If you think about it, the pasta is cooked, the
Yeah.
filling is cooked. All you have to do is just like let the
Meld the
sauce
flavors.
absorb exactly into the pasta and the filling, and the cheese needs to start bubbling up. And as soon as it starts bubbling up, it's ready basically. And you
Awesome.
can make this in advance and freeze it. I've done it before for holiday parties. Make it in advance, freeze it, then take it out, defrost it, put it back in the oven, sprinkle it with a little bit of cheese. I love using truffle oil in my pastas. Put
Oh
some
yeah.
truffle oil on it. It just elevates the dish and makes it just taste extra fancy, you know?
Truffle anything.
Truffle anything, baby. That's right. Can
Awesome.
All right,
By
so
12, they're
here we
ready to
go.
go in the oven.
you
Oh.
see it?
Cheers.
Perfect. Yay! So I'm gonna put more
Done.
sauce on top. So we're gonna
Oh, okay.
just basically add sauce. Make sure it's nicely covered with your delicious ragu that you're using. I'm gonna open up another one. So that one was half.
It's about a jar total.
About a jar, yeah,
Okay.
depending on the size of your jar. All right, here we go. And generously sprinkle it with your vegan mozzarella. And then if you have any filling left, let's say you have some filling left,
I
right?
do, yeah.
So put it on top of it. So I'm gonna
Or I could
put
eat it for dinner. That
filling
also is a great option.
right on top, and I'm gonna spread it all around. So you don't waste anything. Like I have a 0 waste policy in my kitchen. We don't waste anything. Everything is, even when we're using vegetables, we use pretty much everything. We never waste any part of the vegetable either. So yeah, put that remaining filling all over. Add a little bit more sauce if you like.
Think about it.
If you're out, you're out. No worries. This dish is also really goes really well if you have a nice vegan bechamel. You can put a little bit of that on top as well, but
Ooh.
we're making it super simple. So basically, this is what it looks like once you put
Okay.
your sauce in the filling. Brilliant. And now we're going to take our vegan cheese, sprinkle vegan cheese on top. Generous amounts. And if you're not vegan and you're vegetarian, you can use regular mozzarella. I always like to give people options.
All right, and let's see.
And I'm gonna, if you have any truffle oil,
I don't, but
okay. If you
someone's at
do,
home, yes, but we're cooking at a friend's house, so.
oh, I see. Okay. So I'm gonna just drizzle a little bit of this truffle oil on top of mine. Just elevates the dish, takes it to the next level. And it also helps the vegan mozzarella to melt a little bit better. All right, voila, we have our lasagna. Now we can go in the oven.
Beautiful.
Yes, looks amazing.
Thank you so much, Suze. I can't even tell you how, I'm so happy we were able to do this together.
I'm so
I'm-
happy we were able to do that.
Thank you
So
for making
grateful
it
for you,
work.
grateful for everything you do. Thank you for doing what you do. And hopefully I'll see you in San Diego soon.
I'll have to come. I know you have to get to Suze's on her way to teach a class, of course. So, but thank you. And I'll definitely let you know this next time I'm in San Diego. And everybody check out the recipe at Naturally Zuzu on Instagram. She posted it yesterday. You can make it vegetarian, vegan. Everything she makes is gorgeous.
Thank you. I appreciate you all. Happy Lasagna Day.
Happy National Lasagna Day. Bye.
Bye.
I love her so much. You have no idea. She's one of my favorite gym instructors, dance instructors, and just one of my favorite humans because she's just full of kindness, which is clearly what we like here at Lasagna Love. So I got a written note that the chat was disabled for the beginning. So we're going to try that giveaway again. So if you were here earlier, great, awesome. Comment below. If you weren't here earlier, we're going to do a quick giveaway to kick off. So it's this t-shirt. It is a Ragu Lasagna Love wooden spoon and one of these wonderful Lasagna Love trivets that I love. All you have to do is just comment the number one emotion you felt listening to that first video where the recipients were talking about what it meant to get a delivery. So go ahead and do that. Andrea will pick somebody at random. She's got a whole number generator technical thing going, and we will announce that winner in a few minutes. And now it's Chef Marco here. Awesome. I'm so glad we made this work because we tried last year and we couldn't coordinate schedules, so we shared a video. But this year we have Chef Marco dialing in from Buffalo, New York, where he has a restaurant. He works with Galbani Cheese, which is one of our National Lasagna Day partners this year. And I know we don't have a ton of his time because he does have a restaurant to run, but he did want to at least stop by and say hello. And so Steph, go ahead and bring on Chef Marco if he's here. And we have a Galbani giveaway coming up later. So stay tuned for that because later we'll have a video. Hey, how are you?
How are you?
Marco?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. You look like you're on your way to something important.
Well, we're celebrating my twin's birthday today, and I was at an art studio, and I just jumped in my truck. It's pouring rain out, so I apologize for that, but we're gonna make this happen. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we're glad we can make it work this time. So I was telling people a little bit about you before, but I would love to just hear from you. I know you have a restaurant in Buffalo. You've been working with Galbani a lot, and tell us why you're excited about National Lasagna Day and what we do, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, what's not to be excited about National Lasagna Day? Number one, lasagna, period. There you go. Being Italian, being in the restaurant business, it's such a joy and a pleasure just looking at the people's faces when I serve them something that they absolutely just crave or love. And, that's why I'm in this business. It's not, anything else but pure pleasure to see somebody that's so satisfied having a great meal cooked and knowing that I produced it or, my staff produced it. It's our recipes, our food.
That's awesome. No, it's true. And it's lovely to hear from somebody who is in the restaurant, but has his own restaurants, that there's still that passion and that love. That's what I think it's what calls a lot of volunteers to this movement as well, as just really wanting to put a smile on someone's face.
Absolutely. It's just being in the restaurant. I've been in the restaurant business for 40 years. So it's been a long time and I've fed a lot of people. Actually, we just did a festival in Buffalo and my DJ says, Chef, how many meals do you think you've prepared? And I said, well, personally, I have no idea, but we kind of put some numbers to it. It was like 1.3 or 1.4 million meals over the course of our being open. And to serve that many people is just, it's insane. It's amazing.
That's such an honor. Well, thank you for spreading kindness in your own way. I've made 1,000 lasagnas. I got a long way to go before I catch up to you, but I am on a mission to do it.
Get busy, will you? No, definitely. I think Lasagna Love is an amazing organization. I think it's such a beautiful and passionate project, and people that are out there that if they don't know how to do it and they want to do it, want to get involved, they know it's very easy. I was on your website. You go on there and just click to volunteer. I've been telling everybody that I'm going to be doing this today and, talking on the show. And, I get the, what is Lasagna Love? And I said, it's very easy. Go to the website, lasagnalove.org, and just check it out and just volunteer and make lasagnas and hand it out. It's that simple. And if you don't know how to make lasagnas, galbanicheese.com, which is one of our, one of your sponsors, who I'm the chef for, galbanicheese.com has lasagna recipes that I've produced that are very simple because I don't do anything over the top. I do everything. I use the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. And to make lasagnas, in a flash with minimal ingredients, that's my jam right there. That's awesome. What I do, and that's what I like to do. So.
And for everybody watching, we'll be sharing Chef Marco's Lasagna Love video later, so you'll get to see a little bit of him making a lasagna, and we'll post the recipe as well, so you can.
Oh, awesome! I didn't know you were doing that. Thank you. I've never cooked before.
Can I make lasagna? Yes, you can, and he'll make it possible for you. Absolutely.
You don't need to be creative. You don't need to be a chef. You don't need to have a funny jacket like I wear. It's all good. It's easy to do. It's layer after layer after layer. And if you don't want to just do straight Italian lasagnas and you want to make it a little on the Mexican side, and you can do that, you can make it your own. It's just the pure joy of having somebody eat that lasagna and
Yeah,
bringing warmth to their heart and their stomach, and passing on the love.
you're speaking our language. Well, thank you so much for making, I know you have a busy day, so thank you so much for making a few minutes for us. We so appreciate it. And we look forward
Anytime.
to doing an event with you sometime later this year.
I'm hoping this is going to be a lot of fun. We'll get a lot of Buffalo area chefs, and I have a lot of chefs across the country. We'll challenge them.
But well, I'm so excited to see what happens. Happy National Lasagna Day.
Thank you. You too. Ciao.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
He's just got such a lovely heart. I'm glad we finally got to connect with him and share his passion for cooking with you all, because he's been inspiring for us as a Galbani chef and partner. I do have exciting lasagna gratitude. I don't know what that means. I have something on my list. Don't know what it means, but it's fine. We're gonna figure it out. So I have the first winner. So the winner of the first giveaway, so the shirt, the wooden spoon, the ragu spoon, and the Lasagna Love trivet is Mitzi Maxwell. So Mitzi Maxwell, if you are listening to this right now, email store. I'm gonna get a nod that I'm doing this right. store@lasagnalove.org. Yeah, I remember things. store@lasagnalove.org with your name, your mailing address, and somebody on that, one of the volunteers on that team will get everything shipped out to you. It will come in probably multiple shipments, because our shirts come from Printful, and everything else we sort of have in a warehouse somewhere, somebody's office, probably somebody's office, because that's how we roll. But they'll get that sent out to you. And let's see, I know it's 1:33, we're a little late. Is Jasmine still awesome? Okay, so really excited for this. So another one of our National Lasagna Day partners is Carrabba's Italian Grill. So two things I want to say. They are donating 10 lasagnas per Carrabba's location across the country. So it's over 2,000 lasagnas that are being donated to feed families in those communities, which is just mind-boggling. So thank you to Carrabba's. We're going to talk with actually a volunteer leader who's at a Carrabba's now doing the pickup in just a minute. But two things first. One, if you do not have plans tonight, it is National Lasagna Day. It is hot in most areas of the country. Don't make your own lasagna. Go to Carrabba's, get lasagna, have a date night, find a sitter, bring your kids, whatever you need to do, because they're donating 10% of those sales back to us. So it's an awesome way to not have to turn your oven on, eat lasagna on National Lasagna Day, and also get to support Lasagna Love. So if you order lasagna at Carrabba's, either in restaurant or if you order it online to go, 10% of those sales will come back to us. So thank you so much, Carrabba's, for your support. And to say thank you to Carrabba's and everybody, we are gonna do another giveaway for a $50 gift certificate to Carrabba's. So if you live near Carrabba's, post below your favorite dish there. Don't say lasagna, that's cheating, unless it actually is your favorite. So post your favorite dish at Carrabba's. Andrea will do her magic again, and we'll mail somebody a $50 gift certificate to Carrabba's as a thank you. But yeah, now, so I want to chat with Jasmine, and she's got a really amazing story, because she started out as a recipient of Lasagna Love. And we hear this all the time. We get messages from recipients saying like, I want to do this. I want to give back. It made me feel so amazing that I want to pay this forward as a lasagna chef when I can. And Jasmine actually made that happen. So we're going to go to her at Carrabba's and hear a little bit about her story, get to see maybe a little bit of her pickup. And hey, how's it? Oh, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Her? I can hear you now. You?
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Happy National Lasagna Day.
Happy National Lasagna Day. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited too. So tell us where you are.
So me and my crew. I have a bunch of my mini. These are the Lasagna Love volunteers in training.
She knows there's kids now, so she wants to say hi. Here's my lasagna baby.
Aww.
Hi, lasagna kids.
Say hi.
Hello.
We are outside the Carrabba's in Mechanicsburg, PA. We just picked up our order. This is our second order. We went to Allentown earlier this morning. And I have to say, Carrabba's, oh my goodness, they have been completely amazing with this entire process. And I just want to give the biggest thank you to them just for making this possible. I mean, we've been able, just here in PA, and I know everyone else has as well, have been able to feed so many individuals and families. We've taken care of so much backlog. We of many are getting ready to host a life-changing, memorable event with the donations. We are truly grateful and appreciative. So thank you so much, Carrabba's, for these donations. It's amazing. We are so happy and blessed to have been a part of this.
I feel exactly the same. I couldn't have said it better. I wish I was standing in front of a Carrabba's right now. And I also, if you're comfortable, I would love for you to share a little bit of your story, because I think your story is so powerful in how Lasagna Love can inspire, like sort of in the pay it forward sense. So do you mind sharing a little bit?
Of course. So this is my family. We started our journey with Lasagna Love as recipients. So us, like many people, were greatly impacted financially, emotionally, mentally, physically by COVID. And Lasagna Love was so gracious enough to step in and take care of us in so many ways that I didn't even know was possible. So I submitted a request for us. We got our first lasagna and it was absolutely amazing. Our chef was amazing. The process was so easy. And we continued to do that as we worked towards getting out of that hump that we got in with COVID. And as I continued to, go in and get the requests and meet more and more chefs, I was like, wow, like I want to do something more. And I found out that we were able to volunteer. So I signed up to volunteer. I made my first delivery, and my kids, my husband, my mom, we've been doing this for quite some time now. And I have to say, it never gets old. We truly believe that it is better to give than it is to receive. And this never gets old. We absolutely love doing it. We have such a passion for it. And as time went on, more opportunities to grow within Lasagna Love just kept popping up for us. And that's what I love so much about Lasagna Love, because, within not all nonprofits have the ability or give you the opportunity to grow as the company does, as the organization does. So we've gone from a receiving family to a volunteering family. And I stepped into the position of local leader. I was like, you know what, now I want to be a part of something even bigger. I'd love to manage and, get behind the scenes on everything that goes into getting these families something to eat. So I stepped into the local leader position, specifically for Harrisburg, PA, added on more areas as I felt like I was able to take them on. And I am now happily and blessed to be in the regional director position for Pennsylvania. It is so awesome. It's truly been such a blessing for us. Like I said, just coming from being a receiving family to start, and now we have the opportunity to give back. When you are impacted by something as powerful as COVID was, it's like you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And we have finally reached the light. We are so thankful for Lasagna Love helping us get there. Can you guys say thank you, Lasagna Love?
Thank you guys.
Thank you so
That's
much
amazing.
for you just stepping in and doing this and making all of this possible. It's been a blessing to us.
It's been my pleasure. I have two things I want to, before I forget, I want people listening to hear two things that she said. And the first is obvious. The first is you can start as a recipient, and maybe it takes a month, maybe it takes a year, but like if and when you get to a position where you're able to pay it forward, there's so many ways to do that. Lasagna Love's one of them, and we would love to welcome you as a chef. But the other thing I want to call out that you said is, it is better to give than to receive. And this is important because I think there are so many people out there who could use a meal, who feel embarrassed or ashamed or scared to ask because they feel like they're putting a strain on somebody. And like I know 100%, I speak for every single lasagna chef in this organization. It is a gift to be able to bring you a meal. Like, do not hesitate. If you need that help, if you need that hug, like it's not about pride. It's not about shame. It's just about, we are neighbors who want to be here for neighbors. And I know everybody who has requested has been there for somebody else before. Consider this karma coming back to you. And if you can't think of a moment you've been there, trust me, I know you're going to pay it forward, because we've surveyed and we know 97% of our recipients pay it forward. So like, just take this moment. If you need it, take this moment and let Jasmine or I or one of our volunteers make you a meal. I'm going to get off my box now. How I feel. Thank you, Jasmine, for sharing your story with us and for being at Carrabba, doing all the pickups. I feel so blessed to have you as a part of the organization.
Thank you. It's truly an honor. The pleasure is ours. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, we'll let you go pick up lasagnas. Bye to your kiddos.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. I'm going to say this every time. I love her. No, but really, it's to hear a story from somebody who walked through something difficult and received a meal and like had that experience and wants to pay it forward. Like we hear that story over and over again. And it's wonderful to just hear from her heart what it meant to her. And how she, she's a volunteer. Our leaders, they're like the regional director. She's a volunteer, like putting in a lot of hours to make sure that families in Pennsylvania can get fed. And we just love that. It's truly at the core of what we do. I have a assistant who's trying to pop in. Hello, assistant. Okay, so the winner of the Carrabba gift certificate giveaway is, I wish I had I need drum roll. Can I use these? Not quite the same. I'm gonna step away before I get laughed at. It's Robin Engelman. So Robin, if you're still watching, I hope you are, email store@lasagnalove.org, your mailing address, and we will get your Carrabba gift certificate mailed out to you. If you don't have a Carrabba near you, but commented anyway, let us know that and we will figure something out. I know I'm a little bit behind. So I believe next up we have Kendra. So Kendra, her name is Kendra Awesomeness, and she is truly awesome. So she came to us as part of the Home Chef Throwdown in January. So she's a friend of Cooking Comedy Chaos, so you'll see later. And one of the things she talks about a lot on her Instagram, which I think is amazing, is making cooking accessible. So we wanted to bring that as part of Lasagna Love, because I know that there's a lot of people out there who maybe feel like they can't make a lasagna for one reason or another. And she's going to talk about some of the tools you can use or changes you can make to recipes or all sorts of things like that. Oh, thank you. For my next giveaway announcement, my daughter brought me a drum. This is awesome. I'm going to put it right here. So, Kendra, you're here.
Hello. Can
Hello.
you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Perfect.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
I am going to turn my volume up, but I think I'm not allowed to climb on the table. I think that's against food safety. So why don't you introduce yourself, and I'm going to go hit the button on my laptop.
Yes. My name is Kendra DePinto. I am a chef. I am also disabled. And now my focus is on sharing accessible cooking tips with other people who maybe have limited energy or mobility, but also everyone has limited time and, so many things. So I share accessible cooking tips, but accessibility in the kitchen and in other places really benefits everyone.
Awesome. We love it. And I love watching your videos. So I was saying we met Kendra through a Home Chef Throwdown back in January, and I've been following her ever since. And she'll post up and I'm like, yeah, girl, yes, that's so true. So it's just been so inspiring. And I messaged her a while ago being like, we've got to share this with the Lasagna Love world. I don't know how, I don't know when. And here we are.
Yeah, I'm super stoked about it. I love what Lasagna Love does. As somebody who has been through a lot of medical stuff, there have been so many times when people in my community are necessary to just survive, to get food on the table. And I love that Lasagna Love is creating that community outside of your family and friends. It's sharing that load with others.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love it. That's exactly what we're about. So I don't have any of your stuff, but I figured you could just talk us through, like, if you were going to make a lasagna and think through like what might make it easier.
Yeah, I have tools. I have stuff here. I have some of my favorite tools here. So if I were trying to make lasagna and make it easier, first of all, like, I think about the barriers and like what's going to make it a difficult process. For me, that's standing on my feet for a long period of time. It's a lot of time chopping and dicing and all of that. So I'm sitting on a stool right now as we're talking. I'm also very tall, so like, but I'm sitting on a stool. There's no rules that say you have to stand in the kitchen. There's no rules that say you have to prep at your kitchen counter rather than at your kitchen table. So like when I approach cooking, especially now, I throw all the rules out the window and think about what's going to work for me. Also doing stuff like if you're making a sauce, any of those things. I know there's a lot of Lasagna Love volunteers that will make whole lasagnas and freeze them for like future drop-offs. But I also like to remind people that you can freeze all the individual parts too. So like you could make your meat sauce and freeze that. And that way, if the next person you're delivering a lasagna to is a family of 2 instead of a family of 8, you can then take the sauce and make things where it's just assembly that day, and that sort of thing, and break up the work into smaller parts per day so that it's less time and energy. And then I also have so many tools, and that's the thing, you know, people think that like when it comes to chopping and dicing and all that stuff, that you should do it the like right way. But there's tools to help with things like that. Like this thing for anybody that has maybe like grip, I'll show you, this is what it looks like. It's like a bunch of tines on it, kind of like it
almost looks like a hair pick.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. And like if somebody has limited mobility or struggles with their knife skills, they can go like this and hold it in place and just like cut right through it. And you don't have to worry about cutting yourself. And it just makes things a lot easier for anybody that has either struggles with their knife skills or limited mobility. It like makes things a lot safer.
That's
and
amazing.
Also for a lot of, what's that?
And I was saying that's amazing. I've never seen that. Andrea, if you're listening, can you find that on Amazon and post it?
I have a whole page of accessibility tools on my Amazon storefront that I put together for that reason, because there's so many things. But also, like, if you don't want to do that, you can do it in a little mini food processor.
Yeah.
Or
definitely done that for Andrea. Also, I just don't like to cry while cooking.
Yeah, exactly. And so like, there's just so many ways around to like make all of these things easier that take us like, I think you have to take a step back because a lot of people think there's these rules to homemade cooking of like, if you do this, it's cheating.
I would say if you made it in your phone and you made it from ingredients, like, you know, I think putting like a frozen lasagna, like you bought it, that's like different. But if you truly like in some way took ingredients and assembled them and put it in a pan and put love into it, it is homemade. Like that's
exactly
no requirement. There are no rules. Like we have people who are from all walks of life and all different abilities who want to be able, who do participate or want to be able to.
Yeah, and with like also there's frozen onions that are already cut up. There's so many tools and stuff. There's, you know, jarlic is my favorite term for the jarred garlic. Like there's so many things that just like, I like the term of giving myself a permission slip to do things that are going to make it easier for me. Because if the way that I can give back is by doing these things, then that's the way that I can give back. And at the end of the day, like your lasagna is going to be just as good with all of these. There's no rules against these things.
So tell me what the blue thing is, the bluish teal thing.
This is my favorite tool in the whole kitchen. And I don't know why, I didn't know why I didn't buy it sooner. It does like 15 things. So first, all of these holes right here are different sizes. Let's see what size I need. And you put it around here.
Okay.
And
my mom has a cool one that's just metal, but you have to like kind of wiggle it to the right size and it doesn't always grip. So that looks like, is it silicone or rubber?
It's silicone. It's lined with silicone, so it sticks super well. And it literally, like, there are so many jars that I would not be able to get open until, I don't want to wait till my partner is home for his like strong arms to open a jar of salsa. So this makes it super easy, but it also, if you have like a can of tomatoes, I'm not going to open this can of tomatoes because I don't actually need it open, but you can slip this under the little tab and then you pull back and it gives you the leverage. So if you struggle with like the strength to open it, like the grip strength, it helps with that. Like I'll show it with this as a can of soda water that I will actually use right now.
I actually saw a woman at the bar at Fenway when we were at the Red Sox on Tuesday use something a little smaller, but use something like that to open the seltzer cans and the beer cans, because she's doing like thousands a night. And I can imagine it would make your wrist really hurt, even if you don't have mobility issues.
Yes. Yeah, so it helps a lot with that. I use it when I open like cans of like soup and stuff too. I use this every single day. This is something that really benefits a lot of people with like limited grip strength or limited dexterity, but it also helps everyone. I don't know a single person who hasn't been like struggling to get a Gatorade open or whatever. This helps everyone. So this is my favorite tool. So we've covered most lasagna ingredients. Like we've covered, so like you can sit, you don't have to stand. Onion, if you want to doctor up your sauce, you've got the onion. I bet that the time, I don't know if it has a name, but that's the really cool special tool. Probably you could do tomatoes. You could probably do garlic with it as well, or garlic. So you've covered sort of sauce. Shredded cheese you can buy it pre-shredded. Lasagna noodles, no boil. So at that point, you've got everything except like the ricotta and egg mixture to make it more easily accessible to anybody. And I know there are some people that do like the bechamel instead of ricotta. And that's another thing that can be made. Say one day you have the energy, you can make a big batch of that, cool it and freeze it, and then use it each time. And it will, bechamel in particular, will separate a little when you defrost it, but if you just whisk it back together, it'll come back together. And so like, that's my biggest tip to anybody that struggles with like time and energy and like anything like that that's limited, is on days when you have the time and you have the energy and you feel good, do a bunch and prepare yourself for other days. And that can be the same thing for different volunteer things. Like, you know, if you do it weekly, but you want to one week make a big batch of sauce, and then the next week make a big batch of bechamel or whatever, you know, you can spread that out so that it limits your load each week, but you still get the same awesome results. That's great. Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. And I know that we have comments going and I can't see them. Andrea or Rob, we are like the team in the other room. Are there any questions for Kendra that you want to pass on? There might be a delay, I'm not sure, but the website for the list that you have of the accessible items. So what's your Amazon store link? It's Kendra DePinto. So if you go to Kendra DePinto, my link is on all of my social medias, which is Kendra Awesomeness or KendraDePinto.com. Okay. All of it is available there. My Amazon storefront is like Amazon.com/Kendra DePinto. So it's all just under my full name or my handle. Okay, awesome. So we'll post those below so people can buy. And I'm sure you have a lot of other. Are there any other gadgets you wanted to share today? The only other one I have right here with me is this thing, but I think everyone has seen one of these. The like chopper thing. Okay, cool. Actually, I haven't, but I also don't. I don't know as much about kitchen gadgets as I should, given what I do for a living. It's a tool. It takes a while to set up. I don't use it that often because it takes a while to set up. But if you have to do a lot of chopping and stuff, you put the thing in there and slam it down on a blade and chops everything up for it. Awesome. But yeah. Cool. Well, thank you so much. Any other last wisdom that you want to share with people, or any other questions that from the people? I think the only last words of wisdom is what I constantly am saying, and that is like, there is no shame in how you put food on your table, and however you are able to feed yourselves and the other people you are responsible for, that's your business. Love it. And that also goes for signing up for Lasagna Love. However you are able to get food on your table, that's your business. Like, there's no shame in it. It's like, it goes right to, we haven't talked about core values during the Lasagna-a-thon yet, but we have some very strong core values at Lasagna Love. And one of the top ones is zero judgment. And zero judgment goes for the people who request. Like, there is no wrong reason to request a lasagna. And that's super important to us. And so there's like, our volunteers are zero judgment, but there's also zero judgment when it comes to how you make a lasagna. Like, a lasagna is a lasagna. There's also no such thing as just lasagna. Like, it is beautiful. It is wonderful. If you put your heart and love into it, it will taste amazing. It will touch the person that you are delivering it to. And it truly does not matter how you arrived at all of those ingredients in a pan. Yes, exactly. I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you again for being here. Happy National Lasagna Day. Thank you. You as well. If you guys were inspired by Kendra and want to follow her at Kendra Awesomeness, Andrea will put the link. Kendra 1A Awesomeness.
most places. I think Facebook, you're Kendra DePinto. But
Yeah, it's
watch her videos.
yeah.
She's got great tips. She's got really fun things to say. She's sassy. She tells it how it is. Which is part of why I love you. And
Awesome.
thank you
This
for
was so fun.
us. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll do this again soon.
I would love to. Yeah.
Awesome. We'll be in touch.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye, Kendra. Oh, I have another one. Yeah, so I love what she has to say, because I think it's true that I think a lot of people feel like being a Lasagna Love volunteer is inaccessible because they don't know how to cook, or they don't have the time, or like something prevents them from doing it. And like, there are so many ways to make it easy. There are so many ways to make it accessible. There are so many ways to make it faster. Like, you don't have to make 4 lasagnas a week. Like, you could make 1 a month or 1 every 2 months. And that's kind of what Kendra was saying, like, when you have the energy, make stuff in bulk, defrost it, layer it, put it in the oven on a day that you're feeling good. So just, if you're there, if you're feeling like you can't be a part of this because you're not a chef, like, let's just no. Like, most of the people who are Lasagna Love volunteers are like regular everyday people who just cook for their family, are happy to make an extra. I'm being instructed to open this. I can't open this. I got Lasagna Love mints. Thank you, darling. Can you move this down, Andrea? Thank you. Okay, it is 1:57. I'm pretty close. I'm right on time. Okay, we're gonna do another giveaway when we get back from this video. I just want to take a quick minute to introduce. So this person, her name is Mary. She's awesome. And I literally found out about her because she tagged me, or tagged Lasagna Love in an Instagram story or reel that she did. And she's not a chef influencer. She's a DIY, like home DIYer. And I went to her page and I was like, oh my gosh, this stuff is gorgeous. She like renovates like her kitchen. She does furniture, she renovates cabinets, she builds things. She's so handy, so handy. But one of the things that she talks about is kitchen organization. And so she tagged us a couple of times because she's a volunteer. She's a Lasagna Love volunteer. And I just reached out to her and was like, you know what? I think we should maybe share some of your kitchen organization hacks with our people, because I know that my lasagna cupboard gets pretty crazy sometimes. And so she is traveling this weekend, but was willing to put together a video for us. So I'm going to share her video, and it has some awesome kitchen organization tips. And when we get back, we'll do another giveaway and cook a little bit more together.
Hi there, my name's Mary, and today I'm going to share with you some kitchen organization ideas for how to store lasagna noodles and sauce, for how to keep your spatulas and utensils organized, all sorts of fun organization tips and things that are super easy for anyone to be able to do. So nothing complicated about this, anyone can take the time. But first, just a little background on me. Like I said, my name is Mary. I am the founder and the owner of the Handcrafted Haven, which is a business that encourages and teaches people to take on home DIY projects, like any do-it-yourself project around your home. I help give you ideas and teach you how to do it. It might be something simple like an organization project, like I did in this cupboard recently. It might be an entire room makeover. So you can check me out on my website or social media if you're interested in this. Otherwise, today we're talking about this cupboard and a few other ones that I'll share with you. All right, so this cupboard previously was just a mess of boxes, spilled coffee, all sorts of things. And I recently got some containers, which you can get these from almost any store. So if you prefer to shop online, go online. If you prefer in store, go in store, grab some of these containers, and then that will help your cupboard be way more organized. There's one that you're probably interested in. This tall one is perfect for lasagna noodles. So I got this one from Amazon, but they also have some similar ones at Target and some other places I've seen. In this way, you can just stick them all in here. You can label them with a label maker. And also some people choose to also put a label on the back with the expiration date of the food. And then they can update that over time. For me, and maybe for you, you make so much lasagna that there's no way the noodles are going to expire. So I just keep using them without an expiration date, but that is an option if you want to do that. I also have some other ones in here for coffee, for cookies, for chips, all sorts of things. So these just make it really simple to be able to see when you're running low on something without having to open up the lasagna noodle box and discover you only have one noodle and you're trying to make an entire lasagna. So I really love these containers. It also creates more space in your cabinet because you're using a lot more of the vertical space than you were probably using before. Okay, let's talk sauce next, like cans and jars. A lot of times people just have them all stuck in here. I had that before and I had to move them all in order to see what was behind there. So I made a super simple DIY riser so that my cans, they're way up here, could be tiered and really easy to see what I have. So I'm gonna give you a close up of this one since it's so high up. Here are all my cans and you can see they're nicely tiered so that I can see what is on every level. And I made that simply by using 2x4s. So I just cut some extra 2x4s I had sitting around in my garage, put them in here. They're not even glued together because it just wasn't necessary. And then they're all nicely tiered. So you can see I have some spaghetti sauce up there that is really easy to access, or tomatoes or other things that I might use in there. And so this is definitely the easiest way to do it. You can also buy some of these risers from a store, but I actually prefer just to make them because it was super simple. Next up, I'm going to show you my utensils drawer, which is actually one of my favorite projects I've ever done because it is so different now. I used to just have a drawer that had spatulas and measuring cups all floating around, just sheer chaos. Now it's super organized and I did it in a really simple way. So here is my utensils drawer. If you can see, I put these little wood dividers in here so that everything has a spot to live. So I have my measuring cups over here in this little cubby, cheese grater and other things in here. My spatulas all live in here. And it works out so much better than just having them fly all over the drawer and having to search for them. And I made these. These are poplar boards. They're just really thin boards that you can get at almost any home improvement store that sells wood. You cut them out and then you glue them together. And then you have this all nicely organized. It's super simple to grab a spatula or anything else that you might need. I almost forgot to tell you that I also am a Lasagna Love volunteer chef, which has been awesome. It's been so much fun to be able to cook, provide food for others in need, and drop it off and text with them. And it's just, it's such a cool organization. I absolutely love it. And I love how convenient it is for volunteers. Sometimes I've had to take some breaks and that's fine. Sometimes I deliver a lot of lasagnas and sometimes I deliver hardly any because life gets busier. It is such an amazing way to volunteer because it's so flexible and it's so immediately impactful to your surrounding community. Okay, I have one more organization tip to share with you, not as directly related to lasagna, but this is just a bonus kitchen organization tip that I'll share. Do you have a drawer at home that just has junk in it? Pencils, pens, rubber bands, random papers, all sorts of stuff. I'm not sure if this is a Midwest thing, but we all have junk drawers where we just throw junk into them. I had one that was so horrible you could barely close it. So here are some tips for organizing random junk like papers, pens, pencils, all sorts of things. You'll see. This drawer used to be such a disaster. Everything just mixed up together in this drawer. Batteries floating around. I got this battery caddy, which is super helpful. You can get it off of Amazon. And it also has a battery tester in it. So right over here, this tests your batteries so you know if they have power or if they're dead and you should just throw them away. I highly recommend one of these. Also, I got this file folder, which if you open it up, it has different slots in it. And I put all my papers organized in there so the papers aren't floating all around in here. And then these compartments have been awesome. I have so many markers, pens, and pencils, and now they all just sit nicely in here. I probably don't need to keep this many, but since I have containers to organize them nicely, I do just keep them in here. And then this is actually pretty handy too. So this is for all of your cords. So you just put them all in here in different sections and then you don't have cords floating around. They're all just right in there and easy to find. And then you can see I have a few other things in here like tape measures, gum, chapstick, whatever you want to put in here. But I use the same organization that I did in the utensils drawer, which is actually right next to it. So then I just have two drawers that are really nicely organized exactly like this. So I highly recommend creating some of these dividers, but also getting some of these handy things like a battery caddy, this folding file folder, and this electronic cords holder, which you can get this on Amazon as well. And it really helps to organize your purse. And that wraps up all my kitchen organization tips that I have for you today. Hopefully that was helpful and interesting to see. Maybe you got some good ideas that you want to implement in your kitchen as well. So thanks for having me here. I'm so honored to be part of this Lasagna Love celebration, and keep making lasagna.
Welcome back. So that was Mary, Handcrafted Haven. So I love her tips. I'm going to buy that battery organizer, which has nothing to do with lasagna. But last week I was back in Williamstown, Lasagna Love headquarters, at my mom's house, helping her organize one of the rooms. And there was a cabinet. I'm sorry, Roger and Nani, if you're watching this, there's a cabinet full of batteries, just batteries. And the second I watched that video and saw that battery organizer, I was like, yep, we need those. We need like 5 of those. So I will definitely be purchasing that. I actually already have the like tiered things that she showed. I did not make them out of 2x4s, so that's way like easier and just more sustainable. But you can order them on Amazon. That's where I got mine. Cool. Oh, thank you. So Andrea is going to post the links to some of the stuff that Mary had talked about in her video. If you're feeling inspired and want to go do a kitchen clean out on National Lasagna Day. And you can follow her at the Handcrafted Haven on Facebook, and on Instagram it's at _handcrafted_haven. And Andrea put those links below so you can watch her turn amazing old pieces of furniture into these gorgeous things, which I don't have time to do, but I'm really inspired by watching. So huge thank you again to Mary for making that for us and for being a volunteer and feeding families in your community. We're going to do, I hope we're not getting distracted by this. We're going to do one quick giveaway announcement, and then it's cool. And then I'm going to do something that I've never done before. I'm going to try and make ricotta. So we actually have a Lasagna Love volunteer who is going to teach me how to make ricotta. I've got everything set up. We'll see how it goes. I'm sure hers will come out wonderful. I think if mine looks like anything more than milk, I'll be super happy. But we're going to give away some more Lasagna Love swag. So we've got this, they call it a dad hat, but I'm a mom and I really like it. So we've got this Lasagna Love hat with the logo on the top. It's gray, it's comfortable, it's stylish. And then we've got, of course, our 2023 Pride t-shirt. So we have a volunteer who's worked with us for a couple of years. His name is Niels. He's a graphic designer. He doesn't cook lasagnas, but he does do a lot of awesome, we'll wash that, or not good. But he does do a bunch of graphic design for us. So he came up with this year's National Lasagna Day logo, or Pride t-shirt, in all the rainbow colors. So what should we do? What should people have to comment? Their favorite lasagna ingredient, their favorite part of the Lasagna-a-thon so far. Okay, Simmerine says, post your favorite lasagna ingredient. And when we come back from the first session with Stacy, because there's 2, because ricotta has some, some boiling time. We will announce who won the Lasagna Love dad/mom/anybody hat, and this 2023 Lasagna Love Pride t-shirt. And I think that's it. I'm going to give the drum to Simmerine because when we come back, she's going to do the All right. Stacy, are you here and ready to teach me how to make ricotta? So while Stacy's coming on, I want to say that, again, making lasagna accessible. So I've never made my own ricotta. You do not need to make your own ricotta. One of our amazing partners is Galbani, who maybe I can find. I love this. This is a giant tub. So one of our partners is Galbani. I love their ricotta. It makes cooking lasagna easy and fast. You mix it with egg. It's simple. This is an amazing option. But if you have the time and inclination and are like, I want to do everything from scratch, Stacey's going to teach us how to do that. Hi, Stacey. It's so good to see you again.
It's so good to see you. I see you have the whole family involved.
I do. Yeah. Yeah. That's a long story, but she's here and we love it.
Awesome. So yeah, I love Galbani ricotta. It's awesome. It's a nice fluffy texture. I use it a lot. This is really, if you have the time, the inclination, and frankly, leftover milk.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, leftover milk. Yeah, either that or bechamel. So yeah. I got everything you told me to get. So I've got a pot, I've got a thermometer, which when I ordered it, I have no idea how big it is. It's amazing. Look at this thing.
Yeah,
See it from across the room.
yeah.
They're usually teeny tiny and I'm like, is it 120? But this, so I'm really excited about this. Andrea will post this in the comments as well.
Yeah.
And I didn't know, I have lemons and I have white vinegar, so you can talk me through that.
Okay.
And I have somewhere I've got cheesecloth and a strain. Does it matter if it's plastic or metal?
Doesn't matter.
Cool, awesome. So cheesecloth, strainer, thermometer.
Yep.
And I do have milk.
Yep, just a couple of other, right? Like you need something to stir it with briefly. The nice thing about this is really you're watching temperature almost more than you're doing anything else. There's no stirring. You don't have to stand over it. Particularly like my thermometer actually has an alarm. So I can set it to a temperature and it will beep.
Okay, I don't
Not
have,
that we,
but
yeah,
maybe
not that we need another
you
beep.
can find one and post that one too, so you can decide, because I bet these are cheaper and I bet that's more expensive, so people can.
Yeah,
pick.
no, I use mine. I actually happened upon it because I use it for candy making, which is why it has the beeping technology.
Yep.
But frankly, any thermometer will work. I have done this by eye. You can do it by eye for sure.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm not that good.
And actually, before we jump in, I totally forgot. This is Stacy. Stacy, do you want to say a couple words about how we met?
So I've been with Lasagna Love almost 3 years. I came on board just before the portal was launched. And Rhiannon was kind enough to be on a podcast that I host about nonprofits. So I know her a little better, I think, than, just delivering lasagnas.
And we got to meet in person for the first time, finally. I had never met Lasagna Love volunteers because of COVID, and I started jumping around the country this year, and Stacy and I got a chance to meet in, I think it was May, right before my birthday.
Yeah, it was super cool. Right
Yeah.
before you ran, what were you doing, an ultra marathon or something?
I know, I was doing a half marathon. That is very different from an ultra. I'm going out there thinking I'm a crazy person. No, just kidding.
Yeah, no.
All right, so what do I do first?
All right, so you're gonna take about 1 liter of milk. A liter for all y'all. I have a measuring cup that actually is a 4-cup measure that also shows liters.
I do not have that.
So it's roughly 4 1/4 cups in a normal measuring cup world. And you're gonna dump that into a pot.
All right, I've got a cup measure here.
Okay, so 4 1/4-ish. And again, you can eyeball this. It doesn't have to be perfect. We'll talk about ratios. This is almost more chemistry than cooking. So if you like to bake, this probably is your jam. If you don't, and you're a little bit more of a winger, your results may vary, but it will still work.
The good thing I have a counter over here because I have no idea how many this is, but she knows. All right, and then there's a quarter, so 4 1/4.
Awesome. And you're gonna put that in your pot and you're gonna turn it on, I would say like medium low. So I have an electric stove.
Okay.
And I see Rhiannon has an amazing.
This is not my house. A friend of mine and my husband's very generously donated us her house because she's traveling. Otherwise, I don't know where we'd be cooking.
That's awesome.
So I'm not going to say your name, but like huge shout out. Thank you if you're watching. You're probably not because you're traveling somewhere way more fun than outside of Boston. But okay, so I've got this on, and you said in your email, don't use ultra pasteurized milk.
Yes, do not use ultra pasteurized. Yeah, anything else will work. You can use a mix. Ina Garden's recipe actually calls for a mix of milk and cream. All you really need to know is ultra pasteurized does something funky to the proteins.
Okay,
Not ultra pasteurized. So you turn that in, dump that in your pot. You're going to put it on like a medium low. You don't want to, scald it or burn it because that would be awful. And then I turn my thermometer on and I just let it do its thing.
Okay.
All right. And then you can, like I said, you can kind of do other things. It takes about 5 minutes to come up to what we're looking for is 185 degrees.
Okay. So in that time, why don't you tell me the lemon juice versus, because I know, she sent me was it Simple Eats? No, what was it? Simple Eats site? What was it?
Yes. And I will post that.
I post it in the comments as well, but they said you can use lemon juice or white vinegar. So you need some kind of an acid. And I guess there's a powder you can get, but it's complicated.
Yeah.
So what's the difference?
So lemon juice, and you can use real lemon juice like you have. You can use real lemon,
The lemon pre-squeeze will work. I know for some recipes it won't.
Yeah,
Like-
it will. You cannot use Meyer lemon juice because we're looking for a certain pH. It's gotta be really acidic. And white vinegar will work. There are other kinds of vinegars that will work for our application though. Everybody usually has some white vinegar hanging around. You
It's
could
white
use,
Dana that came with the
Yeah.
house. That's good.
yeah, it's perfect. And we're looking for, if we're gonna do a liter, we're looking for roughly 1 tablespoon and a teaspoon per liter of milk product.
So we're gonna hope there's a tablespoon measure in this.
Yeah, and you're not gonna dump it in yet. You're just gonna, like, I kept mine in a little ramekin.
Mine's only at 80, mine's at 90.
Okay, yeah.
So if it's too long to come up, we can go do something else and come back. But I have a tablespoon. And so is it just flavor different? Like, does the lemon
Yeah.
actually have lemon flavor?
It's
Or just make it-
subtle, but it is there.
Okay.
So let's talk for a minute about different lasagna recipes or other applications, right? So white vinegar is great for a general ricotta, right? General.
Okay.
Lemon is awesome if you're gonna do something with like a white lasagna with chicken in it,
Okay.
a vegetable lasagna, right? Because it's got that kind of undertone of kind of lemon. sort of,
Okay.
right? A lot of Mediterranean flavors. I use this a lot if I'm gonna make anything like ravioli.
Okay.
Is lemon juice. I use white almost exclusively for my lasagnas because there's so much other stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
So I am making, so I have one regular lasagna that I'm gonna make, and I was gonna make one with zucchini noodles for a family that doesn't do gluten. I'm getting decorated over here. So in that case, since it's very vegetable heavy, you'd probably do lemon over something else.
Yeah, and
So we're gonna let this one pick then.
yeah, and it just depends what you have on hand, right? If you have a lot of leftover milk, which I know a lot of families don't, but I do. My daughter goes through these runs where she drinks a lot of milk and then she drinks nothing. So I'll do a batch of ricotta and then freeze it. I typically do white vinegar because I don't know what I'm making.
Okay, cool. All right. So do you want to cut that with a really sharp knife? And I'm gonna stand here and be a nervous parent. She's very capable. Good job. All right. All right, we'll go ahead and squeeze it in there. You probably have all this done ahead of time. All right, mine's at 120. I'm waiting for what?
You're waiting for 185. Mine is at 152.
185.
And I'm gonna lower the heat a little bit because I don't want it to burn on the bottom. Just kind of,
Okay.
that's the trick, right? Is
Like,
milk
stir it as
products-
it's going? Just to keep it from burning, because I'm good
Just
at
to keep it from burning. I stir it a little bit. My heat, again, I'm on an electric stove. It's a little different.
Okay, cool.
So if you are on an electric stove, keep that in mind. Let's talk Instapot for a minute.
Okay.
Instapots are phenomenal. Love them, love them, love them. You can do ricotta in an Instapot. I will find the recipe that I use and post it. The thing I've noticed about my Instapot is it does not come up to 185.
Oh,
It
interesting.
comes up
Okay.
to like 165 on boil.
Okay.
So if you're going to do it in your Instapot, be aware that the temperature difference may give you less of a yield. Which
Okay.
if I'm going to the trouble to make ricotta, I want like a bunch. I want
Something you can
You're
double,
doing-
triple, or does the science change as you scale up?
nothing else changes. It's always the same ratio.
Okay.
And if you're doing it in an Instapot, like I can do an entire gallon of milk in my Instapot. So I
Oh,
can just
okay.
dump it in, try to bring it up to temp. Often because it's not giving me the correct yield because of the temperature, what I'll tend to do is bring it up to boil in my Instapot, and then I know this sounds like a lot of work. I will dump it in another pan and try to raise the temp a little bit. But I have noticed if I don't do that, I'm losing like 33% of my yield.
Wow. Okay. All right. Interesting. And it's just like the heat's not high enough to curdle enough of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you'll notice like it still stays very milky, so it still looks like you're not getting all the goodness you could.
Okay. Cool. So mine's already at 150,
Awesome.
and
That's
then
what I mean. It kind of goes fast. It starts slow and then you're
no,
like,
it's like it was 90, and now it's 150, and now it's 55. So it definitely does. All right, I'm gonna take this. This is the giveaway hat. I'm gonna put it over here so people can still see it, but it's very hot in this kitchen. Yeah, go for it. We need a tape 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon. So you'll probably get that out of 1 lemon, but squeeze as many as you want. Cool. And do you have, I know most of the people who come on are like here and like they have social media. Do you have anything you want to share that people can like visit you at and you'll post your ricotta pictures? Or are you like, nope, I'm just here to make ricotta with you?
I'm just here to make ricotta with you.
Okay, cool.
I do have other social media, but I very rarely post cooking pictures. I did during the pandemic when we were all making bread.
Oh, yeah, yeah. All right, look at that. Look at you go. All right, I'm at 162.
All right, and I'm at 171.
No, I don't.
So it goes pretty fast. And the ideal temperature range, right? It doesn't have to be exactly 185. You can eyeball it to like 175 to 185. Anywhere in there is your target.
But once it hits that, I want to turn the heat down and just keep it in that range.
Yeah. And then what you want to do is when it hits that, we're going to dump our acid in.
Okay.
And
then do I just leave it or do I stir it every once in a while? Because I know we're going to go see Desarae and come back to you. And I want to make sure I don't break it while you're right here to coach me.
All you have to do is dump the acid in and stir it like 3 or 4 times. You'll see the curds start to form. And then you're just going to step away and just kind of keep checking in on your temp. There's no stirring, right? Don't touch it.
don't touch it. Okay.
It's so hard.
Do we have Andrea in the other room? Do we have questions for Stacy about this first set of processes before we jump? What? Everybody is loving the science of it. I know this is really cool.
Yeah, it is. It's super cool. And it's funny. I actually did a couple of like pre-recipes. I'll show you what my Instapot looks like versus what my like stovetop.
Awesome. Cool. And then do I need to move it to a lower burner or is the lowest setting usually enough to hold it?
Lowest setting is usually enough. Just keep an eye on it. If it goes too high, here's the thing. You will find a variety of recipes. There's no wrong answer. Like it's the internet, right? It's chemistry. If you go over on heat, 2 things will happen. Either you'll burn it, which is bad, or you'll just end up boiling it, which it'll still work. Yeah, it'll still work. I know
it's low and it's still climbing.
Yeah. So on my stove, I shut it off and I actually move it off burner because my burner retains heat.
And then put it back on if it needs it. Okay, I'm gonna do that because this one is it's fancier than I have in my house. It's a fancy stove.
Yeah.
So I'm at 183. Should I go ahead and?
Yeah, go ahead, shut it off and then dump your acid in.
All right, so I'm turning it off. I've got my 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon and I stir it once.
Stir it a couple times. You'll see curds start to form.
Whoa, I wish
it's crazy. Yeah, it looks like buttermilk, right? It gets chunky, like when you curdle. And then just shut it off and eyeball it.
A magician.
Yep, it's magic.
Where's Sean? We're gonna tease your brothers with this when we get back to them. They're gonna think it's magic. They're 2 and 4, so.
Oh yeah, they're totally gonna think it's magic.
All right, cool. All right, so I'm not touching it.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. All right, and so you said 20 minutes. So I'm gonna set that timer for 20 minutes.
Yep.
I'm gonna go spend 15-20 minutes with Desarae, and I'll come back to you, and hopefully this will be ricotta by then. Sound good?
All right. Awesome.
All right. Thank you, Stacey. Oh yeah, I definitely bring that over. All right, we found a magic wand. All right, and so quickly, because I was just told that I'm 5 minutes behind. I'm actually impressed it's only 5 minutes because I really like talking. So the winner of the dad/mom/everyone hat and the Pride t-shirt from 2023, where did I end up? I get decorated and I don't even know it, is Mike Maycock. So Mike Maycock, if you are listening, hopefully you still are, email store@lasagnalove.org and we will email your name and your mailing address and we will get you all this wonderful stuff. Yours will come in 1 shipment, not 2, so stay tuned. And I'm just going to jump right into Desarae, who does not need an introduction. She'll introduce herself when she gets, oh, sorry, she wanted to do the drums. Ready? Go ahead. Mike Maycock. All right, thank you. Hold on to that, we'll need it again. Desarae, are you already with us? I'm gonna clean up my mess while you're getting on. Oh, don't spill anything. I think she's here. Is she here? Cool. All right. Desarae is probably one of Lasagna Love's biggest fans. I'm probably also one of her biggest fans, to be fair. Hi.
What's up, Buttercup?
Buttercup, I'm great. How are you? You never make me cry just by seeing your face.
We are rocking and rolling. We've already got 30 lasagnas done.
Whoa.
We've got portioning of salads. We've got salad dressings going. Deliveries are getting ready to start rolling out of this building at about 3:30.
Oh my gosh. All right. So tell everybody. So first of all, tell us who you are, because I didn't have a minute to introduce you because apparently I'm late. Tell us who you are.
I'm Desarae, also known as Linda, also known as Cookie Comedy Chaos on social media.
Awesome. And you found Lasagna Love
Through an internet search. I just wanted to find a way to give back because I think that I needed it to heal a piece of me at the time. And I found Lasagna Love and fell in love with Lasagna Love.
So if you are watching and you haven't seen Desirae's acceptance video on our feed, please go watch it. It made me cry. It made the whole team cry. It'll make you cry. So we, every year for National Lasagna Day, we started doing Star Chef Honors, which is sponsored by our partner, Ragu, which we will talk more about in a minute because Desirae has like 8,000 jars of Ragu right now. Every year they help us highlight a handful of chefs who have truly gone above and beyond in their communities, just helping to feed people. And this year, they're like, seriously, when we were all sitting in the room, no questions asked. We're like, okay, so Desirae, and then who else? It's more formal, like there's a nomination process. So actually somebody in your community nominated you, one of the chefs nearby you nominated you, and we saw your name come through and we're like, well, obviously, because Desirae has just done so much for us. So, I mean, you were the star chef on last year's National Lasagna-a-thon. She came to us in January and was like, let's do a home chef throwdown and raise money for Lasagna Love. I was like, that sounds good. When do you want to do it? She's like, how about in 2 weeks? And we're like, we'll figure it out. And we did. And so she's just one of our biggest champions and just has a heart of pure gold. So that's
I love you guys. Everything that Lasagna Love gives in this world is what's going to bring us together. The love, the kindness, strengthening communities, feeding families. And I think the one thing that makes Lasagna Love different about any other charity is you don't have to feel ashamed to ask for help. You can be here for any reason. There is no stigma. We just want to give love to the people that just need a reason to smile that day. And there's no other organization out there like that.
Yeah, I couldn't say it better. We talked with actually a recipient earlier who is now a chef and volunteer leader. And we talked about the same thing. Like there's just no reason to not raise your hand. And like our goal is to empower people, to make them feel great about asking for help. And this is your neighbors who just want to be here for you.
Yeah.
So I was going to make your lasagna. Do you still want to do that? Or are you like super busy?
We can do it. I'm going to move a little bit to the back.
Okay.
Because it's kind of crazy in here, if you can't tell. So this is kitchen A. We have one kitchen up here. We're doing salads here.
Wow.
And then back here, we've got kitchen B with a whole nother section of amazing volunteers.
And tell us where you are.
They're finishing up the last of the lasagnas, getting ready to go in the oven.
We are ready, right here.
Hello,
This is the last of it. So it's like beyond exciting being here today. So
and your internet. So there, while she's reconnect. Oh, okay, you're back. So you guys are at a place called Flower Power.
Yes.
And I want to give them a shout out. Do you want to say a couple words about them?
Yes. So Flower Power, we actually met through social media. Amy is the owner here, and it is a cooking studio. So it's a building that is specifically, they do cooking classes, they do summer camps for kids. They do pretty much everything here. They have 2 separate kitchens. You can book the kitchen, choose a recipe. They'll teach you and all of your friends how to make it. It's just amazing.
That's fantastic. So I don't know if anybody from Flower Power, you're probably not watching because you're all there making lasagnas, but thank you for making this possible because you're helping Desarae and her team of amazing people feed just so many people in the Pittsburgh area. So thank you.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. And I know I had a lot of volunteers when I was planning this event asked like, how do you do it? How I want to do this in my area. So the most important thing I could say is utilize social media. Go into your neighborhood Facebook groups, ask who wants to volunteer. And then you guys can provide all the ingredients. But if you're doing Lasagna-a-thon, maybe Ragu will be amazing enough to sponsor us again because they have done so much for us. But I utilize social media. I have a bigger platform, but just because I have a bigger platform doesn't mean that you wouldn't be able to do it either because you have those connections directly in your community. And so what we did was I called and scheduled deliveries with homeless shelters, with drug rehabilitation outreach centers, battered women's shelters all over the place. And we are delivering to all those people that are just going through a really hard time right now and just giving them a smile. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of planning. If you would like to do an event like this, feel free to reach out to me on social media and I can help you organize and plan it and get it going.
Thank you. That's amazing. Because I know, I'm sure there's people watching who are like, I could never do that. And yes, you can. I could never run a nonprofit, yet here I am.
Oh, here's Amy from Flower Power. Hold on.
Good. Amy.
This is Amy. She's the owner here. And she texted me one day and was like, hey, do you want to do a Lasagna Love thing at my location?
Yes. The answer is always
yes.
Thank you so much for donating your space and for champion for kindness. We're so grateful to you. So if you're in Pittsburgh, please stop by and say hi to Amy and say thank you for us.
Thank you. Nice meeting you.
You as well. All right. So we'll post Desiree's recipe below. I think you might have posted it on social already. We'll post it on social. But so I already made the sauce this morning. So this is the ragu sauce, just simmered with some ground beef and Italian sausage and onions and garlic. And then I've got the ricotta cheese mixture. I've got my mozzarella. I've got my no boil noodles because I refuse to use anything else. And do I just layer it up?
You just build it like you don't normally do a lasagna, but what makes it magical is we're smoking it, right? So
I don't have a smoker, but for those folks at home or who live in places where like
okay,
common thing, tell us how that happens.
You have a grill? Do you have a grill?
I do have a grill.
Grilled lasagna is just as magical. And if you get a grill, you can buy a smoke tube on Amazon and you just put like wood pellets in it and you light it on your grill and it creates a smoker effect on what you're cooking.
Okay, Andrea, can you find a wood smoker adapter for grills and post that?
Yeah, it's just like a metal tube that you fill with wood and you light it. But anyways, you build your lasagna and you want to make sure that it's sauce on top, no cheese, because it's going to dry out in the smoker.
Okay, it's a good thing you told me because I like pour cheese on top. So
Me
I'll
too.
put extra cheese in the layers. I'm just saying, like I like cheese. So
but what you'll see happen when you smoke the lasagna is you'll see like the sauce on top kind of like dry out and separate. And then the cheese underneath will come up through it and brown a little bit towards the end of the cooking.
Oh, okay.
That's what makes it magical. And then put it in your smoker on 275 for like an hour and a half to 2 hours. And it is the most amazing lasagna ever in the world.
How did you decide to smoke a lasagna? I'm just curious.
Because it was too hot and I didn't want to turn my oven on in my house.
Good reason.
I was like, no, we're not doing this. And so I told my husband to fire up the smoker. And then when we bit into it, it was like, oh my gosh. So now when I make lasagna for us as a family, it's definitely smoked.
So can you, if you don't want to turn the oven on and you have a grill, but you do not have a smoker, is there a way to grill a lasagna? Have you tried
you could totally just grill it on like 300. You'd want to make sure it's wrapped for at least like the first 45 minutes.
Wrapped
to
in
steam your
foil?
noodles. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So for smoker, you don't wrap it. For grill, you would wrap it because the smoker is going to like push all that condensation into your noodles. And the grill, you want to have that steam effect. But grill like 300 for an hour and a half.
Okay, cool.
And it's going to be just as magical.
I can't wait. And Andrea, are there any questions for Desarae? I can't see comments, so I have to ask Andrea every single time. I'm sure there's questions for you. About smoking lasagna, about Desarae, about Linda. Do you want to explain who Linda is? For those of you
Linda is my mostest, bestest, imaginary best friend.
She is amazing.
I love Linda. I couldn't imagine life without her.
Is she the one who set something on fire the last time you and I, or no, when you and Caroline were on live together?
Oh my gosh, yeah. She legitimately like started a house fire in the middle of a cooking competition. And I screamed. It was so scary.
You handled it really well.
It was epic.
It's fine. It's fine. You called for help in the other room and then we just moved on.
Yeah, it was like, Jason, come get this and spray
Got a
it.
new cutting board out of it though.
It worked out. It worked out pretty well. I was like, well, at least we taught people what not to do when we're in a cooking competition.
Okay, so I'm on my last layer and I'm gonna put okay. I'm gonna put this on and tell people while I'm doing this, tell people where they can find you on social.
Oh, all over. I'm mainly on TikTok. I post there every night. It's cooking_comedy_chaos. And then on Instagram, same thing. Facebook, Cooking Comedy and Chaos. I'm kind of all over the place. And I don't know, I just like to post funny recipes that make people laugh.
I just wanna, like, you have over 500,000 followers on TikTok. I just want to let people know, like, we are very honored that she loves us and was hanging out with us today, because she's like she will never say this, but she's kind of a big deal. But I'm gonna say it. And I have it's in my suitcase. But you want to talk about your cookbook?
Oh yeah. So I have a cookbook out called What's Up Buttercup, and that was released in April. We've sold like 1,300 copies. And that's actually one of our raffle items here today. My publisher has donated a custom cookbook box set. It is a cookbook, one of my Born to Be a Unicorn aprons, coffee cup, and coasters. So we're doing a giveaway of that here, but I also want to give away one of those book sets on our live to celebrate National Lasagna Day.
Awesome. So giveaway for Desarae's cookbook. And what we've been doing is we've been making people like comment something, and that's how they qualify for the giveaway. So, but I want to let you pick. What should people comment to be favorite unicorn color? We've already done lasagna.
What should people comment?
I should have told you.
The first person to comment, Linda is not imaginary, wins.
What I expected, but okay. The first person to comment, Linda is not imaginary. And I'm gonna donate a second cookbook giveaway. So I'm gonna buy one of your cookbooks and give it away a second time, because I think everybody should just share in the love. And I want you to comment your favorite Linda Desarae recipe that you've seen in the last couple of weeks.
Oh, I'm gonna see those comments.
Yeah.
That one's gonna be good.
All right, so I gotta turn my ricotta back on. I'm doing like way too many things at once. Oh, I have a simmer setting.
That's like me figuring out my stove does new things.
That is not my house, clearly. And I didn't know there was on one side there's a regular high-low, and on the other side there's a simmer setting.
Okay, so then we could move on to buns. Sorry, event coordinator needed. We could move on to buns and butter, and we would separate those into the same count. So like 120 with the delivery that gets 120. Yep, we'll start separating those. But if you need to leave.
Oh, no.
Okay. Yeah, we'll start counting them out to go out with the delivery.
Do they go in a different bag, or do they go in a box?
We're still working on getting more boxes, but we could put them in bags and tie the bags together.
Okay, I'll see how many bags I have.
Okay, and we can run and get some more bags if we need it.
Cookie getting 9 unbaked lasagnas.
9 unbaked lasagnas, the box of containers, and then sorry, and then the cutlery, and yeah. Okay, we're back.
Cool. So because I'm doing it on the grill, no smoker, I can put cheese on top?
Yeah. Cool.
All right.
And there's no such thing as too much cheese.
You are a woman of my heart. I told this story the other day to my team, but very early on in Lasagna Love, I put like 1.5 pounds of mozzarella into each lasagna. I wouldn't have seen that. I put a picture of my lasagna in a Facebook group saying, hey, if anybody wants a lasagna, come sign up. Totally free, all that jazz. And somebody actually commented, you call that a lasagna? There's not enough cheese on it. And I was like,
oh, that they're out there drinking that haterade, Rhiannon.
No, it was fine. Everybody was so I didn't even have to say anything. Everybody was like, she's giving them away for free. Like, I think the amount of cheese is pretty okay for that. But we always just assume with grace that somebody was having a day. But I was just surprised, like 1.5 pounds isn't enough. I should up it to 2 pounds next time, maybe. All right.
That lasagna is gonna be bomb.
Lasagna that we are going to attempt to grill. And my kitchen's a total mess.
Girl, you want to come here?
All right, so I have the winner of the person who believes Linda is not an imaginary and got to it fast is Kim Kazda, one of our very own volunteer leaders. So thank you, Kim, for watching.
Thank you, Kim.
Address. I'm sure we already have it, but and in a little bit, do you have the other winner or should I? Nope, I don't have the other winner yet. So, but Andrea's still doing her magic thing. Is there anything else we should talk about?
I don't know, just everybody cross their fingers that we don't get hit with the thunderstorm during deliveries because it looks like it's going to come down.
Oh, no. All right. Everybody send Desarae and her team great energy. I just want to keep, I'm like, I don't have anything else to talk about, but I want to keep hanging out with you. You're amazing.
Yeah. Well, I want to say thank you for everything you do and all the volunteers and Andrea and our regional leader, Jasmine, who just stepped into place and she's doing an amazing job and she's so uplifting and encouraging. Yes, she's just great. And so thank you guys always for giving me the opportunity to help with the mission and just be amazing. Is that Jasmine? Oh my God, I'm gonna hug you. Come here. I love you. What?
I'm crushing right now so bad. I am so excited to meet you. Oh my God.
One day we're all gonna hug in person, I promise. Pinky swear promise.
Maybe next National Lasagna Day.
Yes. Oh my God, that would be so much fun.
Well, seriously, like, thank you for everything you do. Thank you for being a champion of lasagna, not just Lasagna Love, but just like of goodness in the world. Like the amount of goodness you put out, and like I see the stuff you do on your feed, and you like randomly buy people equipment that they need if they're disabled or differently abled. You randomly send families food. It's just like you have the heart and soul of a lasagna chef, like to your core. And I'm so grateful to call you not only a partner to Lasagna Love, but I'm grateful to call you a friend. So
thank you. I love you so much.
Here, I love you too.
Happy Lasagna Day, friend.
Happy National Lasagna Day.
I'm not gonna cry, I swear.
Now you're gonna cry the minute you get off this. I'm just waiting until 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. when no one can see me. Post all of your social links below. We'll post your TikTok and your Instagram and your Facebook and all that so people can follow you. It's just, if you want goodness in your feed, if you want to smile and laugh and feel good when you open up your phone, like this is the woman to follow. And we do have the winner. Okay, so the second winner of your cookbook is Jordan Wider. So Jordan, please email store@lasagnalove.org, your mailing address. I will buy a cookbook from Desarae and I will send it to you, and you'll get to cook all the What's Up Buttercup goodness for months and months to come.
Yes.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful day.
Happy National Lasagna Day. Bye, Desarae.
Bye. I can't close it.
She's still talking. That was Desarae, aka Linda, aka Cooking Comedy Chaos. She's been a good friend to Lasagna Love for so long. She's up for anything, as you can tell. But she means that when she offers help. So if you are listening to this and you're like, that was a really cool event, how do I feed 500 people in my city? She will genuinely walk you through exactly what to do and how to make it happen. So if you want to host an event, reach out to her on social. She's the biggest on TikTok, but she's on Instagram as well, which is where we live the most. So just shoot her a message, say, hey, I saw you at the Lasagna-a-thon. Ask her your questions. If you want her cookbook, we can post the link to her cookbook below as well. I have it. It's full of fabulous recipes, and they're easy. They're not like crazy complicated. That's 200. That's not what I wanted to do. Sorry, Stacy. It was good for most of the time though. And yeah, so yeah, just Desarae is just a golden person. My 20-minute timer just went off. Is Stacy back on in the background, or maybe she never left? We'll go back to Stacy to finish up the ricotta making. We've got one more video for you. We've got a surprise extra session. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How's your stuff?
Well, I kept it at the perfect temperature until the last 2 minutes when I got really into it, Desarae, and now it's at 209, but I turned it off and it looks okay. So
as long as you don't burn it, you're good.
I don't think so. You know what? I can't tell. So
it's good.
Set this aside so we can grill it later. I'll get rid of my cheese, make a little clean spot here.
All right, I'm gonna pull my thermometer.
Okay.
And step around. I have a foster dog and he is in my kitchen.
Oh, that's awesome though. What's his name?
He is Samson. Samson is foster with Frosted Faces in Ramona. If anyone is interested in a beautiful German Shepherd.
Oh.
He is your dog.
We have where my parents have a German Shepherd, who is a 9-month-old, 95-pound puppy. So they're not in the market for another one, but if you are in the market for a German Shepherd, let Stacy know.
Yeah, if you like German Shepherds, and Samson is 11, but he acts like he's 7. So
it's something, yeah. They're puppies. They're puppies for a long time.
Smart, right? Super smart, super
so smart.
Interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, my stepfather has our German Shepherd. Well, he's working on it now, but we had a German Shepherd who passed away last year, unfortunately, Loki, but he was trained off leash and he would walk through the whole town like, Loki, sit at the crosswalk. Loki, go ahead and cross. Loki, jump up on the bench. Loki, sit. Loki, jump over that fence. And he would just off leash through the whole, everybody knew him. Everybody knew him. So,
I'm gonna, yeah, you're gonna have to teach me how to train a dog.
I can't, he can, but I like, he doesn't listen to me. So,
Okay, so you're lining your strainer with cheesecloth. I don't know if you want to do a flat, if you want a bowl under that, or if you want a flat plate.
it's bowl, I guess, I don't know how much liquid, it's bowl-ish, but you think a bigger bowl?
Just in case.
Okay, I can do
Because
that.
otherwise, it's a milk product, right? If it gets on the floor, it's got some sugars in it. Cleanup's not, you know.
I think it'll fit in this.
Yeah.
All right, how many layers of cheesecloth do I do?
Yep. All right. So now your heat is off. You're just going to take a spoon, a slotted spoon, a regular spoon, whatever you got around, right? I use a serving spoon. And you're going to kind of skim it. You're basically just pulling the curds out. So watch what happens when I pull this out. It's all curd. Like it comes together almost like one giant piece. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just kind of like, you know, tap it a little bit, whatever. You're not going to hurt it. And then you just kind of move it to your colander.
One layer of cheesecloth is okay, or do I need more than one?
No, you shouldn't need more than one.
So will it continue to, is there like a finite amount of curd per, or like if I boil it more after, will I get more curd, or it's just what's here is what's here?
What's here is what's here. I've never tried to double dip where I added more acid to the leavings. I'm always afraid it's going to taste funny. You could try it. I wouldn't mix it together with your first yield though. I almost feel like it's fresh pressed olive oil, you know, first pressing only.
All right, good. Oh, and I can get this out of here.
And then the other cautionary tale is don't scrape the bottom.
Don't scrape the bottom. Okay.
Yeah. Typically, you know, when you scald milk, there's this layer of sort of milk crud on the bottom of the pan, which I think kind of almost has not a burned taste, but a very cooked taste. So I never go for that.
Okay.
So you're just going to do that. And then I usually let this just sit, you know, room temp, like just kind of continue to drain for a while. Sometimes I forget about it, you know, for like 2 hours, especially if I'm doing other things, making, you know, boiling lasagna or making sauce. And that's okay. You can just stick the whole colander in the fridge if you're going to be gone for a while. That's another.
And how much am I trying to get out? So like it's getting a little, it's like pretty thin on the curds now. How much am I?
Okay. So
going through the slotted spoon at this point, but I guess I could use a regular spoon to get the rest and just let the liquid drip through the, okay.
Yeah, you can do that. The other thing that I often do is I will move the curds that I've culled already to a different plate. And this gentleman says never pour the whole like leavings through a strainer, but I do because I'm thrifty.
I don't lose any of it.
Yeah, and I worked hard for this, you know, 15 minutes of curd.
Yeah.
So you can do that too. Again, I tend to keep them separate until I can eyeball them to see what kind of quality I have, and then I will mix them together at the end. But usually for a liter, I get about a cup.
About what?
A cup and a third of ricotta.
I bet I probably have about a cup. That makes me good that I did this right.
Yeah, so you're good.
Don't forget, Andrea, if any questions, pass them my way as we're making this. Does this work with, because I've seen vegan ricotta. Does this work with soy milk or almond milk or anything else, or?
I don't think so, because it's keying on the milk protein and the sugars and the pH of the milk.
Okay.
That
makes a lot of sense.
When I do vegan, and I know you already had somebody showcase their vegan skills, I have limited vegan skills. I tend to do bechamel.
Okay.
Instead.
And which kind of milk do you use?
I have used everything from soy to almond.
Okay.
Depends what kind of lasagna I'm doing.
Okay.
and what the,
I've done a tofu. I've never done vegan bechamel, but I have done like a tofu ricotta, which is pretty delicious.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah, I did a vegan gluten-free lasagna for a diversity event at my daughter's middle school. And the principal, who is vegan, was astounded that I pulled it off. And I was like,
Awesome.
Gluten-free noodles are always a little tricky because they don't reheat well, in my opinion.
They don't what? No, reheat well.
Yeah, their texture.
Okay, I've done like the lentil noodles, and those aren't quite as good as like the regular no boil. I think it's probably rice flour that they use.
Yeah.
Smaller.
Right. So I'm going to get rid of my milky pan.
All right, and while you're doing that, Stacey, we have one question for you, which is, do you prefer to make smaller batches or do you prefer to make larger batches?
So I typically make a large batch. I will do a gallon at a time in a big stock pot.
Okay.
Temperature is a little harder to control.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll split it into 2 smaller pans, like with everything else, right? It's easier to control temperature.
Yep.
In smaller batches. But, you know, if my daughter has gone through half of a half gallon of milk and we're like a day within date.
Yep.
I'm doing it. I'm making it small batch, throwing it in the freezer.
Awesome.
It just depends.
So this is what mine looks like. Does that look like I did everything right?
Yeah, totally. So that's mine.
Awesome.
Perfect. And now you let it drain a little more. It's not going to seep a lot.
Okay.
And then you can just put it in a bowl and then stick it in the fridge. I do want to show, okay, so I had done a batch in my Instapot, which is a lower temperature.
Okay.
And it came out like this. It's a flatter curd.
Yep.
Smaller curd.
And I saw that when he posted the recipe that you shared with me, he showed like the temperature differences and you get like it's like a limp ricotta.
Yeah, it's totally limp. It's still a little watery, right? Versus this, which is what we just did.
That's all. Yeah, it looks like it's ricotta. It's cool.
Yeah.
It does take a bit. I'll probably stick to Galbani, but it's good to know that you can, like, if you, and where we live, there are many, many times that ricotta has just been out of stock everywhere. And I think this happened a lot during the pandemic. It's less now, but there are times when you just can't find it. And to know it's this easy to whip it up if you can't find Galbani nearby you is awesome. Yeah,
and honestly, the taste difference between these two is relatively negligible. In a lasagna setting, fluffy versus flatter, who cares?
So that anyway, it turns into kind of a soup.
Yeah, and you're going to make it almost a custard with the egg mixture anyway, right? Adding to it. Like I said, though, I do other things with this. If I were going to make a cheesecake, right, you can see that I might want fluffy versus flat.
Awesome.
But if you want to do like a very nice, pretend I'm my grandmother, like a Malone with a prosciutto.
Which, yeah, I make that all the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we used to when I was a kid and my grandmother had this enormous garden. My grandmother was like first generation Italian. She had this enormous garden and she would make these like charcuterie before it was charcuterie, right? With like this amazing ham, Italian ham. And then we would have prosciutto and we would have ricotta with melon, with pepper on it, black pepper. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you sharing your wisdom with me. First of all, saying yes to this, because like who's like sees a note from Rhiannon is like, sure, I'll hop on a YouTube live in front of who knows how many hundred people. So thank you for willing to share your wisdom and your knowledge. We will post that recipe for the ricotta below. If you have more questions, like feel free to post them and I can always email Stacey and get you guys answers. So,
and I'm on the Lasagna Love group, ping me up. I do want to give a quick shout out to my brother's firefighting group, Nueces County ESD, which is in Corpus Christi, Texas. If you guys need anything, please, I love this organization and food is life. So ping me.
Sounds good. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Stacey. I really appreciate you being here. We can't speak anymore because I've been talking for 2 hours straight, but and I will see you around, I'm sure.
Thanks, Rhiannon. Have a good day, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, so I am still running behind, but not by too much. So we have one more video to share with you. We have a giveaway before that video. And then I'm going to do one more session afterward with a big giveaway that is not on the website. But so stay tuned for that if you want. And the next video is from Chef Marco, who you saw me talk to earlier. So he's going to share his video of Lasagna Love. He actually made this video before he even knew that Lasagna Love was a thing. So, and it's called Lasagna Love. So you can tell that there's some just natural alignment there. And we're going to do a giveaway because of the Galbani video. So we have, Galbani has donated us aprons with the Galbani logo, and they've also donated us a bunch of coupons. So if you would like to be considered to win a Galbani apron and some Galbani coupons to use on either, I think it's mozzarella or ricotta, comment below. Let's see. Comment what you're making for dinner tonight. And I hope the answer is I'm going to Carrabba's for lasagna. I'm not cooking, but even if it's not, you'll still be eligible. So comment what you're making for dinner tonight. Andrea will work her magic. Simran will come back and play her drums. And I'll see you in 7 minutes after Chef Marco shares his Lasagna Love. Mama, should we donate it?
Welcome to our kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Marco, and this is the Galbani cooking series. Today, Lasagna-a-thon. Make it for yourself for dinner tonight. Put it in the freezer. Bring it to a family event. It's simple. I'm going to show you how easy it is to make. And we're going to get started right now with our ricotta cheese. You want to season up the ricotta cheese with fresh herbs. It doesn't get any better than that. Once you put fresh herbs in that, it just takes your lasagna right over the top. Put our container of ricotta cheese, a little pepper, salt. I like a little heat, so I'm going to put some crushed red pepper, some garlic powder. I have fresh parsley. One of my favorites, fresh mint and fresh basil. I'm just going to roll this up, give it a nice chop. The aroma of this fresh herb is just outrageous. Gotta love it. We're throwing our fresh herbs in there. We're going to use some Galbani Parmigiana. Give that a stir. So I took the liberty of taking a pound of ground beef and I browned it up ahead of time. So what I like to do is brown it up. I let it sit so that the grease becomes off to the side. And then I just pull the beef out. That way my lasagna isn't greasy. So see all that grease that kind of just rolls off. And all you really have to do is pull your meat over to the side. If you want to take it off and put it into a strainer, by all means, but just drain it into something like a paper towel, you know, or your garbage, something of that nature. Don't pour it down your drain so that it gets all clogged. Another tip, I'm using a no boil pasta. The pasta companies couldn't make this any simpler for you. This is just a no-bake lasagna. We're going to use the entire box. And it's very simple. You don't have to boil it. You don't have to peel it apart. You don't have to separate it. But what's going to happen is we're going to start our pan with our tomato sauce. If you make it, Nona makes it, Mama makes it, I'm sure that's the best sauce there is. I'm going to use a jarred sauce today just to show you how simple this is and how fast we can move along with it. So I got the sauce on the bottom, our no boil pasta on the bottom, or on, I'm sorry, excuse me, on the top of the sauce. And the moisture from the sauce actually cooks the pasta. So we're going to start off with the layer of macaroni and then a layer of ricotta cheese. Now here's where you can put a lot of the ricotta cheese because this is going to be the base. And I'm going to show you how to keep the base steady. Just when you think there's enough ricotta, you gotta put more in. Oh, here we go. So we got a nice layer of ricotta cheese. Then we're gonna take our black mozzarella and run it through our box grater. Now this is gonna become the holding agent with the ricotta and the macaroni. We're going to grate that whole block eventually. And on the base, we're just going to put our mozzarella. Our mozzarella is going to melt and stick together. Next layer. Repeat this all the way up to the top. So we're gonna take our ground beef that we've let all the grease run out of. We're gonna layer this onto our cheese. We're gonna repeat it, once the beef is on cheese, we're gonna repeat that mozzarella step one more time. Now, if you don't wanna do the meat, you're not eating meat, you wanna keep it healthier, you wanna use vegetables. I personally roast vegetables at home, and I make a vegetarian lasagna. Give it a press. Now here's where we're gonna start, top it with our sauce. Remember, the liquid from the sauce is gonna cook the macaroni. Top it with our mozzarella. Got our oven at 350 degrees for 1 hour. But once you remove it from the oven, you uncover it, let it sit for a good 10, 15 minutes, and that'll give the cheese a chance to set up. You just take a knife, you go around the edges. Like this, it takes off any sticky part of the lasagna. Then we're gonna cut through it. I don't know about you guys, this is love. Little Parmesan cheese, some crushed red pepper, living la dolce vita, the authentic Italian way with Galbani cheese. Make this tonight.
Okay, I finally found what boosts my metabolism, and it's not crazy workout or fat.
Cool, awesome. I don't know what that was, but that was a fun one. So, who else is really hungry after that video? I haven't had lunch and I'm like making lasagna and seeing other people make lasagna and there's all this food in front of me and I just want to eat it all. But I won't. Okay. You feel like that too? Yeah. I haven't better either. It's okay, it'll be fine. All right, so I just want to say thank you again to Galbani Cheese for their incredible support. This is the second year in a row that they've come out as a partner. They've donated hundreds and hundreds of coupons to local leaders in areas that have a need and just makes it easier to make extra lasagnas. They're also donating coupons to people who have signed up to be monthly donors. And I just want to talk for a minute about, oh, just a minute, you're good. So I just want to talk a minute about our goals for National Lasagna Day before I get into this last session. And if you've been following along on social, this is old news, but we had 4 goals for National Lasagna Day this year. We wanted 100 new monthly donors, 1,000 new volunteers, 10,000 lasagnas delivered, and $100,000 raised. And I know probably many of you watching have already helped us reach those goals. If you haven't, here's how. So 100 new monthly donors. So we don't talk about it a ton, but it's amazing that all of our volunteers donate the time and ingredients to make meals because we would not exist without them. So because of that, we have such a small core budget, but we do have a budget, and monthly donors are the people who really just help us plan and sustain. And it starts at like $5 a month. So Club Ricotta, Galbani, Club Ricotta. So if you want to join Club Ricotta, Andrea will post the link below. Seriously, $5 a month, $10 a month, whatever you can afford goes a long way. For every person who signs up to be a monthly donor in the month of July, Galbani's donated coupons. So we'll send you 2 Galbani coupons for $2 off. So you're basically, if you're donating $5 a month, it pays for itself in the first month just with Galbani's donations. So a huge thank you to them for supporting us. And we actually just hit our 1,000 volunteers today. So I think today or last night we posted, I think it was last night we hit that goal. So So thank you to everybody who shared this with your friends and family and got people involved. So wonderful, 10,000 lasagnas, we're on our way. I wanna say we're at, do we have a count? Leave that there, I don't know, yeah. We'll get a count for, we'll get a count. So, and then for 100,000, I know a couple of days ago we were at 70,000 already, thanks to our partners. And thanks to some wonderful, just generous people who, some of them are lasagna chefs, some of them don't have time to cook, but they want to come out and support us. So huge thanks to them. We do have a match challenge right now. So if you haven't donated, right now, if you donate, we have our Founders Circle will match up to $10,000. We're about 400,000 of the 400 of the way there, I think. I'm getting some nods. So we have about 5,000 more to go to be able to get that $10,000. So help us hit that because it's huge for us. So you can donate, 5, 10, 15, 25, 100, whatever works for your budget. Andrea will post the link below. So monthly donor, or go out and make a lasagna and tell us about it. Or donate so we can make that match challenge by the end of this weekend, and we really appreciate your guys' support in helping us reach those goals for National Lasagna Day. Back to the yes, thank you. Back to our previously recorded segment. Just kidding. Yeah, we're gonna watch those again. So the winner of the Galbani apron and coupons is Renee Bevis. So Renee, if you're still watching, email store@lasagnalove.org, and we email your name and your mailing address, and we will get those sent out to you. We're gonna do one more segment, and last year our amazing volunteer Lynn Hirsch came on at the end and she did a lasagna decorating segment. She's phenomenal. Go follow her at Lasagna Art with Heart on Instagram. She's our volunteer outreach director. She's super involved. She was just awarded Points of Light award. I think it went public yesterday for all of her contributions to Lasagna Love. That's not something we do. That's Points of Light. It's another organization that recognized her for all of her hard work. So she wasn't able to join us this weekend, but I'm going to channel my inner Lynn and try and teach you some of her tips and tricks that she taught me. We're having some trouble with these cookie cutters. They're going to get washed a lot. And so, yeah, but we are going to do a giveaway. So I'm going to announce it now and we'll do it at the end. So this is our biggest one. So to celebrate the end, this is one of our limited edition National Lasagna Day items. It is I think these are hand engraved chef's knife with the Lasagna Love squiggle heart and logo and burnt into the end by Chris Bots, Minibot, right? Minibot design in Texas. He's been amazingly helpful. So he does these for us, and I think only for us. And then we have this Lasagna Love chef's apron. So if you are a chef and you would like, so you can buy these on the store. So everything that we've shown today, you can get on the store. So Andrea will post the link to all these items. So you can buy the apron, you can buy the knife, you can buy the cookie cutters, you can get the hat, you can get the trivet. Everything is available on the Lasagna Love store. So if you didn't win, don't worry, you can still get it. But this is one of our really special items. So this chef's knife, not this particular one, but a chef's knife made by Chris, and a Lasagna Love apron, which these are like super high. They have buttons, like they are way more high quality than most of the aprons I own. So we'll do a giveaway at the end. So I want you to comment with what your favorite segment was and why. And we'll do a little lasagna decorating, and then we'll announce at the end, as we say goodbye, who won that. And also these shirts. So this is, we made these for, I think National Random Acts of Kindness Week. So it says on the back, if you need a home cooked meal, go visit this website, no matter what reason, like we're here to help. So if you want to spread the word about Lasagna Love in your community, you can go get one of these Kindness Matters shirts and just walk around and spread the word. You never know who you might inspire to raise their hand for help when maybe they're ashamed or embarrassed or just don't know where to go. So with that, all right, I'm gonna show you this. Simran, if you want to wash your hands, you can come help. So usually you decorate after it is cooked. This is not cooked yet. I'm going to decorate it just to show you, but usually you add the decorations either at the end of cooking or afterwards. Otherwise, the cheese hearts will melt, the tomatoes will wilt, all of that. So I'm going to show you some lasagna hearts. I'm going to show you some flowers. I'm going to show you another kind of flower. You do not need to decorate your lasagnas, but some people really like to. So we're going to do it. So these cookie cutters, Lynn is the reason we have these. She asked somebody if we could make cookie cutters, and I think she or another volunteer, Marcy, like found a vendor. And so now these are the official Lasagna Love heart logo and squiggle shape. You can also get these on our store. And they come in a set. And they're amazing for decorating. So you can just take, so Galbani does make pre-sliced cheese. We couldn't find it, so we're slicing it. So you can just use these cookie cutters to cut out Lasagna Love hearts and just place them around. You can use some, you want to cut out some squiggles or some hearts, you pick. And just kind of arrange them. And I've seen Lynn combine them with like some pretty basil. And again, you want to do this after it's cooked so that the basil doesn't wilt. But it's just like, you know, it's just a fun way to, where do you want to put that heart? Beautiful. I'm gonna make another one. I got some more cheese for you. I'm gonna make a big one.
Let's make baby hearts on the like.
Yeah, make as many as you want here. Let's save the big squares for the big cutter and then the smaller squares for the smaller cutter. And then the best thing if you have kids is you have all these leftover scraps that they will then snack on. And Andrea, just yell if there's questions. And let me just open it up. Are there questions? If you have questions about volunteering, about requesting a lasagna, about donating, about any of the segments today, post them. Andrea will pass those on to me. I'll do my best to answer them or to get you guys the answers. But yeah, so you can make these really beautiful, like decorated lasagnas. It just adds like a little, don't worry, you can keep going. It just adds a little something. So you can do it with hearts and squiggles. And then I'm going to show you a way that I've seen Lynn do it. So I've seen it done a couple of different ways with peppers, but I'm going to cut it this way. You need another one?
Everyone's having a hard time picking their favorite moment. It was all really great.
Okay. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you loved all of it.
If you video gives the feels.
The video gives the does give the feels. We'll put that up on our YouTube afterwards. This is a really sharp knife. So you can share, you can post it, you can share it with your friends and family. Oh, and I forgot to mention, so you don't have to donate yourself. Because I know not everybody watching necessarily is like, I mean, we have a lot of people who request for financial reasons, and a lot of you are probably watching, and we want to make sure that everybody feels empowered. You can go do a Facebook fundraiser. I think we have that linked in our Instagram. So if you go to wearelasagналove.org, click on the link in bio, there's a link to create a Facebook fundraiser, and you would be amazed at how many people hear the story and just want to donate $5, $10, $15. That totally counts. Like, you do not have to put your own money in if you're not in a place to do that. I know not everyone is. We have a ton of volunteers who have already set up fundraisers. I don't know what the total is yet, but Facebook fundraisers are one of the biggest ways that we fundraise on National Lasagna Day. So thank you to everybody who's already set those up. We love you. We are so grateful. And if you haven't, it's a super easy way to participate. So any other questions?
Anne wants to know, why did you choose lasagna?
So to me, I guess there's the practical reason and then the like feel good reason. So the practical reason is I could get the ingredients at the beginning of COVID, and I could pretty regularly get the ingredients, and it's really easy to make lasagna in an assembly line. So making one lasagna is the same as making 10, you just have more pans and more ingredients. But it also, I wanted to, and I actually talked about this on a podcast with two really amazing women, Allison Martin and Jean Trebek, called Inside Wink. I talked about this with them. I want to say the podcast went live a week or so ago, so you can go listen to that. I'll put the link below because we link everything. And I talked about it with them. I wanted to communicate love. I didn't want to just feed a family. I wanted to be like, I put love into this pan. I wanted them to feel that. And to me, lasagna, it's a comfort food. It's the thing you bring when someone is sick or has had a baby or has gone through something difficult. And it's also, it's a family meal. It's not something you it's not something typically that you have a whole pan, you're sitting by yourself. It's like, I picture a big family all coming together and like reaching for things over and like yelling and laughing. And I wanted it to be something that could bring families together in a time that was really challenging. So for all of those reasons, it just kind of happened naturally. I don't think I picked it on purpose. It just was like, oh yeah, of course I'm going to make lasagna. I don't know if that's a good reason, but yeah. All right, so we've got our heart version. All right, one more. Well, I've got to show them the flower version, and then we can go back to hearts. And then we're going to set aside these beautiful hearts that Maureen made, and the beautiful little squiggles. And I'm going to show you a couple different ways to make flowers. So we have these these rings, because of the way that the pepper kind of comes in the middle, they kind of look like these beautiful flowers. And then you can use basil. I have a basil stem somewhere. I don't know where it went. Or you can just roll up basil a little bit.
It's right there.
Oh, thank you.
But I chewed it.
That's okay. If you chewed it, I'm not gonna put it in. Thank you for telling me. So we've got a little basil, and then we'll put this little leaf at the bottom, like little leaves. We'll do another one here. So just twist up the basil, make a little stem. I'm sure there's easier ways to make stems. Lynn can tell me afterwards. And then, yeah, those look like flowers to you?
Yeah.
So now we have some beautiful spring flowers. If you go on our Instagram, you'll see a lot of pictures like this that we've posted from volunteers.
Mama, now can I do something?
Yeah, I'm gonna show them one more thing. So you can add tomatoes to make it like a little bit more flower-like. And then I've seen people make entire flowers out of cherry tomatoes. I've never done that, but you can definitely use the like little circles to, I don't know if we have enough dark ones. I think we have mostly yellow, which aren't gonna show up as well. You can try it. So just cut the cherry tomato in half. And they all have to be about the same size. And then instead of the pepper, if you don't have pepper, you can just kind of make a little flower like that. I don't know if you can see that on the screen, but there's the cherry tomato heart. And again, you want to do this at the end so you don't bake any of this. And that's just a way, if you have some extra time or if you have children. So this is Lasagna Love is very much a family activity in our household. So if you have kids, then you want to involve and they're too little, like, use sharp knives or you don't want them near the stove. This is a great way to have them just, have a project and make them feel really good about participating. And that's all I have. That's our Lasagna-a-thon. I'm laughing at the last name. So our grand prize winner, where's your drum? You want to do it? Do you want me to do it? The Lasagna Love chef's knife and the apron is our very own Lori Barnes. You're not crying. I'm not crying. You're crying. You're not crying. I'm crying. I know she's crying right now. So Lori is another volunteer leader. So she runs the team of regional directors as a volunteer. So regional directors are the volunteers who help coordinate a state. Jasmine, who you met earlier as a volunteer regional director. Lori's the person that they go to with questions, and and they meet with her. And so she's just, we could not run Lasagna Love without her. So I'm really excited that you won. And that's everything I have for Lasagna-a-thon. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for helping us reach our NLD goals. Thanks for watching with me and making all these amazing foods with all these wonderful people. And if you're still watching, comment in what you would like to see next year for Lasagna-a-thon. If there's specific people you want to see or topics you want covered or other things you want us to talk about, and we'll do our best. Otherwise, have an amazing National Lasagna Day. Thank you again to our partners, Ragu, Galbani, Carrabba's Italian Grill, Go Get a Lasagna, Don't Cook It Yourself Tonight, and have an awesome rest of your Saturday. Want to say bye to everybody?
Bye.
Bye. I don't actually know how to turn this off, so I hope somebody else does. I'm supposed to wait. Let's just keep moving. Bye, guys. Thanks for being here with me and helping. You're fabulous. We'll just keep decorating lasagnas. Okay. We're gonna take these off so we can bake it though. Let me turn the oven on.
And no one's just saying,